Is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Sharing the love, spreading the light in real time. Friday night love stream.
Very happy to have a guy we instantly resonated with. Unbiased and on the fence. I'm talking about Shane C. Robinson. And his purpose is to rise above the worldviews that are designed to separate us so we can unite as one.
Sometimes you have to sort of take a step back, and I think Unbiased and on the Fence is a really, really good title for your show, because you are in the central point when you're unbiased and on the fence. That's what it means. It doesn't mean you're indecisive. It means you are taking the central point and you're seeing the multiple perspectives.
Unbiased and on the fence.
If you haven't checked Unbiased on the Fence, go and check his channel out. You might like it.
From Unbiased on the Fence, Shane.
If this much sincerity enters your life, come to this much. What I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. I don't believe anything, I don't disbelieve anything. I'm willing to look at everything. You will become a sensible human being.
Have you checked out our website?
Visit us on the web at uotf.net. You're listening to The Love Stream.
All around the world in real time.
I want to thank you for watching, listening, liking, subscribing, and for those who support this channel financially. Thank you. Lots of love and light to everyone out there.
Your calls, your stories, on air. You're listening to The Love Stream.
Sharing the love and spreading the light all around the world. This is Unbiased and on the Fence.
Unbiased and on the Fence.
What is up, everybody? It's the Friday Night Love Stream, as you heard. Welcome to everyone in the chat and listening in on this later. And thank goodness I've been saved by Ronnie in Florida. You're still in Florida, right?
3 more days.
3 more days in Florida? Oh,
yep,
wow.
We drive out of here Monday.
That's awesome.
After I've got the movers coming Monday morning. The truck gets picked up sometime Sunday afternoon. I have a dentist appointment at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I have to take the cable boxes back to the cable company, and then we can hit the road. So yeah.
That's awesome. You're so responsible.
Yeah.
I would have totally packed up those cable boxes and took them with me and planned on mailing them later or something probably, and then forgot. And then had it on my credit report.
Yeah, I don't need that. So.
Yeah.
and I know I will never mail them if I take them, so it'll just sit cluttering up my house. So
see,
no, I don't want them.
I finally reached a point where I know that if I don't take them back, they're not going to go back. So it's funny how it's like those little things like that. You know, you can be well-intentioned about stuff and really plan on doing something, but after you fail so many times, you just realize. That's why, like, the older you get, the wiser you are, and you know, it's just you have to learn from experience.
Yeah, you get to know yourself.
You get to know yourself. That's so true. So, gosh, that is like, man, moving is not fun at all. I actually hate moving, but it's going to be fun when you get all done.
It will be, and it's been worth it, because otherwise I would have just never gotten around to cleaning all this stuff out, you know, because I had to go through all my mom and dad's stuff, and so it's been kind of emotional and a little melancholy, but I'm just like, you know what, I take them with me, and they're not the things, and I don't have to save everything that was their thing, so, you know, it's been a big release, and so it's good. You know, you need to do it. Sometimes, I shouldn't even say that. I won't say it. I was going to say something about how a tragedy of a material sort could just take everything away and make you not have to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Diane had to go through. The one in Austin that we're going to, she had to go through that flood and she lost a lot of precious things. But it's a new chapter, and you realize that the stuff isn't the person. And although you like to hang on to it, you've always got your memories.
Exactly. I'm sorry, I'm like Jose, I'm a smoker, so sorry for lighting up with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Just a cigarette. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of us in the group smoke two different things, right and left-handed cigarettes. So. I used to, not anymore.
I have to say, well, I did, when I was in high school, who didn't try it? And, then every job I had, they did urine testing. So I was like, I can't do it. Just can't. So now I don't have that kind of job anymore. And it's like, well, I kind of would like to try it again just to see if I still enjoy it or not.
Yeah, that's
but
funny.
I don't know if I would.
That's funny you mentioned that because, like, I was a lifelong smoker and I chose my jobs from the whole pee test thing. Like, oh, they drug test, can't work there. You know what I mean? It was like quitting wasn't even an option. It was like, that's off the table. Let's see what else is available. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was a crutch for me for a while, and it got me through. I mean, I don't come down on anybody that does it because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for it getting me through to this point.
I did the legal drug. I drank. So,
right.
And that was my crutch. How I got through social occasions.
Yeah.
I was very, very. I know now that it was because I was empathic that, I feel everything and it's overwhelming to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really enjoyed going out, and I had to deaden my senses with alcohol to be able to enjoy being out. So
yeah. And alcohol for me was I of course I drank before, but it never was like sort of my go-to thing because it typically made me where I couldn't do any of the things I loved, whether it was, watching TV or doing art or playing video games, everything. It impaired me, even driving and stuff like that. So, but like with weed, it like went well with everything. And it actually, I don't know, it was like if I smoked and then watched a movie, I would be more likely to cry. It was almost like it heightened my senses in a way.
Wow.
So yeah, it was it was just different, but I mean, it helped me get through both of my parents passing away, and I don't know that I could have done it without that because it really, you smoke enough and you're like, what was I upset about again?
Yeah. Well, I couldn't do anything creative when I smoked because it made me just too stupid. Excuse me, I was in an art class in high school, and, we would go out at lunch, and then after lunch I had art, and we had to do some kind of painting. So I always, loved horses, and I knew how to draw in horses. So for 2 days I worked on this picture, and I was high, and the third day I wasn't, and I looked at it, it looked like a fat little sausage with legs. It didn't even look like a dachshund. It just looked like a sausage with legs. It was so bad. I was like, I just never am doing that again. That was terrible. It was really embarrassing.
That's hilarious. Yeah, for me it was like that if I didn't smoke all the time, I would have that type of effect, or I would do those types of things and forget. But when you like do it all the time, like wake and bake as we call it, and you're like high all the time, it's a lot different than if you're just like an occasional smoker, like at lunch or on the weekends. And you kind of lose that funny slap happy middle of the night kind of laughter thing that you get with it. But it's just different if you're doing it all the time, and you can't really drink all the time or you're like an alcoholic. Everybody smiles it on you at work and stuff, but
Yeah, we had a few guys like that.
Yeah.
They kept a bottle in the car too. Yeah. It made me sad.
Yeah.
When something owns you that much.
It is.
I think why it was easy for me to quit drinking, and I didn't even think about it. It was just like, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like the way I feel the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry, I'm really
Did you
tired.
just smoke some? I'm just playing.
No. I don't even need to. Yeah.
Right.
I'm just like that naturally.
That's funny. I had something I was going to say, and I totally forgot what it was, too. Which I never usually admit that I just move on to something else. But yeah, I had a thought.
I'm contagious. I'm sorry.
I don't know. What about everybody in the chat? Maybe we had a wave move through that reset our RAM or something. Who knows? While I'm thinking about it, though,
yeah.
I should mention Austin, Texas. For those who haven't emailed me, you can go to uotf.net. The link is in the description at the bottom of the description box. You'll have to hit that little triangle button if you're on a phone to open that up and see all of that. And you can just email me and put Austin in the subject line, and I'll know you're interested in coming and spending New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and the weekend before that, which is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, with us in Austin, Texas, which I'm really looking forward to that. I did send out an email, so if you already sent your email and you didn't get it, you might want to check the spam folder, or, just let me know that you didn't get the email. Okay, now that I got that off my chest.
Well, I loved your idea about setting up a camera and just having a camera running for people who can't go. And we can just sit and watch, and whoever's there can just come over and talk at the camera for a little while.
I thought that
it would be like the confession booth in Big Brother or something.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah, I was actually thinking, I'm like, you know what, Sherry will probably, Overprotected will probably be streaming from there, because she's always streaming at different times, and
awesome.
That'd be kind of cool, except if I'm playing and singing on the guitar, I'd rather keep that private in case I mess up or something.
Oh.
But no, it'd be a lot of fun.
Ego. You gotta let go of that and just enjoy the moment.
I know.
Don't worry about it.
It'd feel different if it's live streaming, and it'd be like, well, a couple of dozen people hear me mess up, no big deal. If it's going out to the world, it's there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'll be more likely to mess up.
Can't even talk in front of people. That's why I'm comfortable with this, because I'm just talking to you, even though I know everybody's in the chat and listening.
Mm-hmm.
They're not looking at me. I know nobody's looking at me. Even the videos I made, I finally put them back up on my channel, and I won't be in it. I'm just not comfortable putting myself in a video.
Yeah, and I understand that. And that's sort of why I didn't think we would probably live stream, because I know a lot of people, like my wife included, she's like, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to be on videos and stuff. So I know that, she's not the only one. And I don't want people to feel like, oh, man, they're going to be live streaming. I'm not going,
You set up a chair and you point it at the wall. Point the camera at the chair and the wall.
Point it at the bonfire.
Whoever wants to sit down and talk. Whoever wants to sit and talk just goes and sits in the corner and talks to the camera for a minute.
Yeah, like a reality show. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
Who's calling in tonight? I want to hear people talk, because I'm so tired. I've been up since 7 o'clock.
Oh, man, I bet
fed
you
the
are
dog,
tired.
had a cup of coffee, and started packing. So,
yeah. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, and I made such a big mistake. I ordered, we are doing it's kind of a self-move thing, where it was $15,000 to hire movers to come in and pack out the house. I was like, what? Are you kidding me?
Oh, my God.
So I looked into doing it with the pods. So we wound up, I got 4 pods that we filled up from the garage in my dad's shed and outdoor stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, so it sounds like a lot, but they're pretty small. They're actually not very big at all. And then we got a trailer for everything that's in the house. And there I went again. I forgot what I was talking about. So that, and I hired movers to help with the household stuff, with the furniture, because it's big and heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And so with all of that, it's half the price. of what the movers wanted. But the bad thing is that I'm the one doing all the packing. My husband's doing great, but you know, I have to make all the decisions on what's going and when it's going and which van it's going in, or so it's been really long week, very very long week.
That's
and
interesting.
I am really worn out.
I've seen those pod things. So they'll take them and then you got to empty them out, and they give you so many days to get all your stuff out before they pick them up again. Is that how it works?
Yeah, they drop it off, and you have 5 days to fill it up. And you can extend it if you want to, but I think you have to pay a little extra. And 5 days was really good. It was a good amount of time for us. And then when they drop it off, you have 5 days to unload it. But what I like about them is that they can go into storage, and it's like $130 a month to store it. So 2 of them are going to get stored for a few months until I get a shed. I don't have any kind of a shed. I have a barn, but not a shed. So I need something closer to the house for all the, you know, lawnmower and all that stuff. There's not room in the garage. So those will get stored, and then 2 of them get delivered, and that's stuff that goes around the outside of the house and in the garage. And then the moving van, we will get there on the 18th, and the moving van comes on the 22nd. So we have to take enough stuff with us in the car with our gigantic dog to be able to function for 4 days without our stuff.
Oh, wow. So let's see, the pods take the longest to get there then, or the main truck?
Well, they get there. You know, it takes everything about 4 or 5 days, I guess, because it goes from your house to like a dispatch area, and when they have a truck going the right direction, then they send it on that truck, and it goes to another dispatch area, and then you call those people and arrange the delivery when you're ready.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it could beat us there, or it could, you know, or we could beat it there. It depends on the road conditions and everything.
Wow.
So
that's a lot of work. It makes me tired hearing all that.
Yeah, I know. I'm ready to just chill tonight and listen to other people. So somebody has to call. Who's got a good story? I want to hear somebody's waking up story. What woke you up?
Yeah, that would
be
nice. What?
Yeah, mine
you'll have your
was
son to help
pretty
you
much
though, right?
Dolores Cannon.
I mean, you'll have more help there.
Yeah, my son will help.
Yeah.
Well, it's so sad. We're all broken. I pulled my back when he was a baby. I mean, he was like 5 years old. You know, he was little. But every day I would take him out of the house, and I'd have to put him in the car and go to the babysitter. And he was sleeping. I had to leave really early in the morning, so he was sleeping. And I would just bend over and put him into the back seat every single day. Well, one day I did it, and my back went, so that was the end. And ever since then, it's been, you know, I can tweak it pretty easily.
Yeah.
So I have to be careful of my back. My husband, not last year's hurricane, but the year before, we were doing some sandbags, and he got a hernia.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
just ripped himself, yeah. So he had surgery, and the surgery kind of messed him up. He has he did the mesh thing, and so it gets very painful for him, and so he's not good for lifting. And plus, he had, the year we got married, he wound up having congestive heart failure, which he worked on it, and he improved his heart condition by 20% pumping capacity.
Wow.
And so, yeah, he did. If anybody is getting to congestive heart failure or has it, what he did was he would walk every day for an hour, but never let his heart rate go over 120 beats a minute. He didn't do any heavy lifting because that puts pressure on your heart through your circulatory system. And we limited his weightlifting to a gallon of milk, whatever that weighs. And his doctor put him on a beta blocker, which was Coreg, and he took that for 2 years. But then he went to Turkey, and the Turkish doctor told him that that you're not really supposed to take the co-reg for more than 2 years, and that if he wanted to heal his heart, that he should start taking the COQ10 or ubiquinol, I think it's called, something like that. And that really, really made a big difference. That's when he had a big jump. I mean, he was slowly improving, but when he did that change, he did great. So I'm not a medical professional, and I cannot give medical advice, but I'm telling you what my husband did, and that worked for him. So, yeah.
Yeah, I took the CoQ10 stuff
good.
for a while too. I didn't really notice anything, but they said it would be helpful. But yeah, the natural way is the best, I guess.
I was getting like palpitations, and because I used to take a lot of Motrin. After I hurt my knee, I was taking Motrin all the time, and it is actually really, 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 really bad for your heart, and that's what it does. It starts to cause you to have palpitations. So I quit taking it as much as I could, and I rarely take it now. And instead I use it's called Boswellia serrata, which is frankincense, the stuff that they brought Jesus when he was born, the three kings.
Wow.
One of the gifts was frankincense, yeah. It has been used for 3,000 years, and it has no bad side effects. Although I just read an article where they said it's bad for your liver, but that is the only thing that I've ever seen, that if you take large doses, but they don't say what they consider a large dose to be. And it's the only thing I've ever seen. Every other study that I've seen on it says that it has absolutely no bad side effects and that it's perfectly safe to use. And it does the same thing as Motrin, where it's anti-inflammatory. It also gives you pain relief, and it is the anti-inflammatory action of it is as good as it's better, actually, than getting a corticosteroid shot. It's more effective. And when you get a cortisone shot, it damages the cartilage and ligaments that they're treating. So it makes the condition worse. Whereas the frankincense actually improves the cartilage. If you have an ulcer, it's good for ulcerative colitis. It's anti-cancer, even in the brain, except the only exception that they found is that it will do absolutely nothing for bone pain or bone cancer that has gone to bone. So it's like really, one of those miracle plants. It really is. It's incredible. So
I heard just going
I
to
buy mine on Amazon.
Oh, really? Is it expensive?
Yeah. No, it is so cheap. If you take Motrin and you start using this instead, it will save you a fortune, because a 1 kilo or 2 kilo size bag of the resin, it's a powder. It comes in a powder. It costs like $50, and I figured out the dose that I was using, and if I did that, it would last me almost 5 years.
Oh, wow.
But I keep giving it away. Somebody comes over, and I talk to them, and I make a jar and hand it to them. And send them home with a jar of white powder. I'm like, don't get pulled over, okay?
That's hilarious. Yeah, I've been really researching the whole plant-based diet, and because, besides Thanksgiving, I've been doing that for a while, but recently, this past week, I've really cut out sugar because I heard that's, that causes a lot of problems, just sugar in general, carbohydrates in all sorts of forms and stuff. So I've cut that out, and it's funny, my wife's like, you've been seeming a little bit depressed. I'm like, no, maybe it's cutting out sugar. It's because it's sort of like a stimulant in a way. I still do that caffeine, but I haven't had any sugar, and I guess maybe I'm just not as peppy as I normally am. I don't know, but I figure things would level out for me at some point.
Oh, well, a good plant to research. It's good to grow. It's very easy to grow, except if you have a winter time. You have to have a place where you can grow it indoors. It's a subtropical plant. It kind of stops growing when it hits 70 degrees and lower. It doesn't die, but it's not happy and it doesn't grow. And then mine actually got hit by a frost, and all the leaves died. But as soon as it warmed up again, the leaves started growing again. So from 70 degrees and up, it's very, very happy. But you can make it spread really easily. You do cuttings off of it, and it spreads super easy. You just stick them in the ground, and it'll root and grow. So you can have plenty of it.
Where you snip it and then clone it, I think they call it. Where you snip it and just stick it in the ground. And wow.
Yeah, you just root it. You can root it in water. You can just stick it in the ground and it'll grow. It's super, super easy. So it's called longevity spinach. And I can't even remember everything that it does. But the main things that people use it for is that it lowers your blood pressure and it balances your blood sugar in 2 different ways. It has no bad side effects, although one lady said that she ate the roots, which I don't know why somebody would eat the roots of a plant, and it hurt her kidneys or her liver, and she had liver damage or kidney damage. I can't remember which it was. But, you don't normally eat roots of plants because they tend to have, like, neurotoxins. Like even that moringa tree. They found that once you go below ground level, it releases a neurotoxin, and it's like, I guess it's the root's defense system.
Right.
So the tubers are different. They're not roots. You don't actually eat the roots that are on the tubers. So just don't eat roots.
And they're called tubers. Tubers.
Yeah, like potatoes is a tuber. Sweet potato, what do they call that? Sunchoke? It grows tubers. So tubers are like an energy store for the plant over winter, and then it starts growing again. It uses the energy it stored in the potato and starts growing.
So what was the name of the plant you were saying that grows then?
Longevity spinach.
Longevity spinach.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for men who have a low sperm count, it increases the sperm count. You can use it on an injury on your skin. They did a test on rats where they created a wound, and they used it. It healed faster, and the tissue that they grew in had more normal tissue, not scar tissue. It's really, really amazing stuff, and very, very, very healthy for you. And it doesn't taste bad. The leaves taste like a strong romaine lettuce and mixed with parsley. Kind of. It's just a nice green flavored plant. It's very good.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So yeah, everybody, Ronnie wants to take a break. She's been going since early this morning, so if somebody wants to call in, which, I love all this information we're gleaning from her, but if somebody wants to call in, Jeanette's here. That's cool. You could call in if you want. Dustin the Win, are you at work? The Fifth World. T. Taylor's charging her phone. She's going to be calling in shortly. Susan, you could call in. Did you get my email, Susan? Are you going down to Austin? You could talk about that. I feel bad about you having to stay on here, but I'm glad you're here.
I don't mind. Well, I just saw Morgan H. said stevia tastes bitter due to a genetic something, and that's interesting because I don't like stevia at all.
Yeah, I don't like any artificial sweeteners. If it leaves a horrible aftertaste in my mouth. I just rather drink something with no sugar at all than to put artificial stuff in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I like some things. I like a little bit of honey, but it has to be a really mild flavored honey. But yeah, I couldn't do stevia. I tried. I grew it and tried it, and I couldn't stand it in the plant, so I tried different formulations that they've been selling. I was like, nope, I can't do it. It just doesn't taste right.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even know stevia came from a plant. I just thought it was like any of the other, what do you call it, like NutraSweet type products or whatever. I guess it's more natural.
No, Yeah, it's natural. It's a leaf of a plant, and you can put it in your mouth, and you get that like atrociously sweet flavor. And then to me, it tastes like poison. I just can't stand it.
Oh gosh, what doesn't have some type of poison in it these days? Though I just figured we need to use our intentions to purify whatever we're eating, even if it's vegetables. You know, you just never know.
Yeah. So I want to know, what have they done to tomatoes? You know, I bought tomatoes from the store, and I went to slice them, and it was like an apple inside. The center was so thick and hard that I couldn't even bite it. I was like, what on earth? Yeah, they've ruined tomatoes. It's really, I can't shop at the store anymore. I have to have a garden because I can't stand the vegetables they sell. So,
I got a 405 that's called in. I think it might be Susan. Nobody has their hand up, though. Hit *2, just in case. I'm pretty sure it's Susan, but...
I always have to do it twice. I have to *2 twice before it actually puts my hand up.
Yeah, but they both did it now. Okay. Well, awesome. Okay. You've been relieved.
I will say good night.
Thank you so much. You'll probably fall asleep listening, but
here and chill.
Lots of love to you, and have a safe trip and all of that good stuff. And you can check in next week and let us know how it is if you've got internet and all that stuff.
Oh, I may not have my internet up yet. I can't remember when they're coming. So, well, I'll have my phone, though.
Yeah,
so,
keep in mind you can call in and listen from your phone, too.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. Okay. Well, you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I love you all. You just make my whole week. Well, I look so forward to this night. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shane. Mwah. Love you all.
Love
Bye.
you, too. Bye-bye.
Let's go.
You're listening to The Love Stream.
All right. Going back to the phone lines, 405. I'm pretty sure it's Susan. Am I right?
Yes.
Yay.
You are.
Now, did you get my email about Austin by any chance?
Is it one like you sent recently?
Yeah, I sent it like the night before last, I believe.
I haven't read it yet. It's been crazy. I've had a very crazy week.
Okay, well, I was wondering because I sent it out to like 24 email addresses, and I thought that Google or Gmail might be like, hey, this guy's spamming. Send it to people's spam folder instead, you know, because I don't really know how the thing works, but I don't typically send out a bulk email like that to so many people. So I might need to do them one at a time or something.
I will check. Sorry about that. I've been on the go between Jones and Southside Oklahoma City, and there's been mold at my mom's house, and floors being laid at his house. I know. And then I tried to get on Michelle's the Thursday dream share, and it wouldn't load. This computer would not load up, and everything just was going wrong. Plus, this house was crazy, and my heart had been racing for, like, I was on my third day of my heart pounding really fast in my chest. Like 150 was my heart rate, and my blood pressure had gone up and come back down. Yeah, it was because I was exposed to mold at my mother's. So
Yikes.
I'm not going back till the wall gets repaired.
I don't blame you there.
Yes, I'm highly allergic. You what? Sorry.
Yeah, I said I don't blame you there. That's crazy.
Yeah. Does anyone have allergic reactions to mold besides me? You know, where it's so extreme. It's so extreme for me, but I'm kind of curious about that. So,
see, with me, I typically don't realize it until later. Like, you know, I've done remodeling where there's mold and you get it out of there. You have your crappy dust mask on, which I don't think really help with the spores that much, because it's like I get a cold for a couple of days after, but you know, during it's usually not too bad. But yeah, I do suffer the effects later on.
Yeah, and some people, like, they are suffering effects and may not be aware of it too, if it's not real extreme or if it sneaks up. But anyway, I do better. Yeah, I mean, I can work. I got a job part-time. I'm a UPS helper on the truck, you know, over the Christmas season. So that's good. I've been doing that too, and it's kind of different hours, different week.
Yeah.
It just varies depending on which truck I'm riding on, but that's been kind of fun.
Oh, you're actually riding
Except
around.
yesterday. Huh? Yeah, I'm in the truck and I'm grabbing boxes or taking them to the door. But yesterday was nuts. I mean, the weather yesterday was so terrible to be out doing that. I was doing it in the evening, and then all the way home, it was just that rain that wouldn't stop coming down. Did you get it in Tulsa?
Oh yeah, we got it here too. It was just pouring all day. It's crazy.
Oh, I'm just so glad it didn't stick and freeze.
Oh yeah, me too. Because it started, there was a cold front that came with it. So not only did it get wet, it got really chilly, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrible.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't have to be out there for too long. What about that? Where did you go the other day when you had your getaway?
Oh, I went to Broken Bow, Oklahoma.
Oh, that's so pretty. That's a really nice area.
Yeah, it was really nice. No cell phone signal, but that was kind of the purpose of it.
Oh, good for you. So how long of a drive was it?
It was like right under 4 hours or something.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, it was a good drive because it's right in it's southeast Oklahoma, right at the, it's kind of by Arkansas, but yeah, it's still in Oklahoma, and there's like a lot of Bigfoot signs and stuff down there and Bigfoot cutouts. I took a picture of one. I need to share some of them on the channel.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's where they are.
Yeah, that's where they are. And I had no idea until I was looking into going there. I saw it was a good place to meditate and stuff like that. But while I was down there meditating, I kept hearing things, and I'd have to open my eyes and look because I was like, I can't have a Bigfoot like creep up on me. Here I am with my eyes closed.
No, you definitely want to see it.
Yeah, definitely. Never saw anything though, but it was cool. It was fun.
Wow, neat. Well, I don't know about our plans for Austin. We all want to. Terry and Shira and I are in conversation about it, but everyone's kind of poor. So we're just we're going to manifest it if we can. We're trying. That's not the way to talk about manifesting, is it?
Right.
If we can.
No, you just have to plan on going and see how it happens
and start
for you.
making it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I've done this whole time. I was like, well, I'm going. I don't know how, but I'll be there.
That's right, and that's kind of what we've been saying. I look forward to all of the future get-togethers, however they happen.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, Michelle brought up an SNL character, the 50, what was it, Sally O'Malley. Is that it?
I don't know.
Sally O'Malley? I think that's it, but if anyone remembers that as her saying I'm 55, please let me know, because when Michelle was saying 50, I kept thinking, no, it was 55, wasn't it?
Oh,
so
Mandela effect, huh?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it is. I mean,
totally.
It might be that she was 50 and then she went to the character when the character turned 55, but I couldn't find it when I did the search, so another interesting one.
Yeah.
I would love to hear if anyone remembers it that way.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, if anybody watched I watched it like, usually I saw clips of it on the internet and didn't really watch the show, I think. I don't know. It's like Saturday Night Live. It's probably, I was always doing something on Saturday nights or something. I don't know. I just never really caught it.
Yeah, over time. Yes, over time I lost interest in it. When they started, just doing anything comedy about pedophilia, it made me so angry. I would just not like you anymore. And that's something SNL incorporated a long time ago. They would make joke of that, that Waterboy character. That was the whole, theme of abuse. Yeah, and it was a ha-ha. So anyway, that's the stuff that got to me about SNL, and a lot of other things too. But I still, I mean, they've got some funny skits and some funny characters. I love the vintage stuff.
You love the what stuff?
We have to weed through the vintage SNL.
Oh, right.
The years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too, because you get to see all these stars that made it since then, and it's like, oh, I didn't know they started on there. You know.
Oh yeah, such a young Billy Crystal. Yeah. Young Robin Williams. Well.
Very cool.
I'm topicalist right now. I mean, I've had so many things, you know, moments that come to me that I want to talk about, but I'm kind of all talked out. This week's been crazy.
Oh, it's no problem. We actually have a couple of people that called in, so I just really wanted to check in with you to see about Awesome Austin. Yeah.
Well, we're planning it. How's that? We're planning it, and I'll let you know when we. Yeah, anyone needs a carpool, and we're trying to carpool.
Yeah, that's a good
and
idea.
I don't know, is your wife going to Austin, or do you know?
Yes.
Does she know?
Yep, she's going.
Yay!
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep, she'll be there,
Yeah,
and
well,
I'm pretty sure we have a place to stay on New Year's, you know, going from New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. I think we're going to stay at the lake house.
Way to go.
So,
Way
no,
to go,
I mean the whole
planner.
group, since it's going to be so late.
Really?
Yeah. So.
You got it for the whole group?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we're going to, I need to double check with that to make sure, but I'm pretty sure she said it's cool if we stay there that night at the house that she's got. It's a big, like, lake house or whatever. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that helps, doesn't it?
Yeah,
You
so
know.
even if you come for that one day, you know, then you don't have to even, you just got to get gas to get there.
Terry. Okay.
Something
Terry
to think
and I are
about.
listening to this, and yeah, Terry, right? He's supposed to say something, but he's not. There we go. That's Terry. He's here too. Zeter.
Oh.
That's Susan Jones. And, well,
Awesome.
I'm going to let you go.
Okay,
So
thank you
get
so much,
someone with their
Susan.
hand up. Yeah, we'll talk again soon.
All right. Have a
Bye.
good one.
Love you all. Love
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, love you too.
Thank you. All right, step that way.
Your calls, your stories, on air. You're listening to the Love Stream.
Sharing the love and spreading the light all around the world. This is Unbiased and On the Fence.
Going back to the phone lines, 360 area code. Who am I talking to?
This would be T. Taylor.
What is up, T. Taylor?
What is going on?
You get that phone
happy
charged
Friday,
a little
everybody. A little bit. So we'll see if this works out because I have been draining batteries so fast it's not even funny. Like, just for instance, I have reinstalled the batteries in my smoke detectors, and my dad is a little bit of a safety net, so they own the house that I live in. They don't live in it with me, but they just are a landlord. But he has literally replaced these smoke detector batteries probably 5 times in the last few months, and I just replaced them 3 times in the last week. So I drained the battery on my car alarm. Same thing. But I don't know.
Wow.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, there's a lot of energy going on. So I just want to let everybody know, like the last Ronnie, I love her, and Susan, I was listening to her too. That 1212 portal or gateway is very intense. I kind of expected it to be a little bit of an easier ride.
Yeah.
And surprise, not so much. You know, just because anything that we have left is definitely going to come to the surface and be purged. I feel like between this, because it's about 1212 through 1227. So just be aware of that. And I definitely feel like timelines are separating more and more so. I don't know if your other viewers are starting to see those timelines start to get really, what's the word I'm looking for? Abrupt. Like people in your world that just aren't getting it. It's going to get a little bit harder for them because it's going to get a little bit more like claustrophobia. And those things that they haven't dealt with are going to come to the surface, unfortunately, because it's happening for everybody. Nobody gets out without singing the blues. You know, that's just the way that this is going to work. So anything we put on a shelf that we're not dealing with, it's gonna get your attention one way or another. So either you can do it in a nice way, or it's going to kind of sneak up and jack you a little bit. It's kind of like trying to keep a ball under the water is the way it was explained to me.
Yeah.
So if you've ever tried to do that, it just kind of pops up and hits you in the face. No matter how hard you try, you can put all your weight on it, but that thing is going to still pop up and hit you in the nose a little bit and make your nose smart. And so that's a lot what people I think are kind of experiencing right now. Like I even yesterday got kind of dragged into some of those lower frequencies, and so as these energies, oh, there goes my phone getting pissy, and I am charging. Stop it. As those energies get, more frustrated because, we're starting to see things come to light, like, for instance, all these yellow vest protests. And, the Clinton Foundation, I woke up and was like, yay, finally, being investigated. All these things that we've been kind of pushing towards. But the more people that come together in these physical spaces lends their energy towards that awakening in a much bigger way. So, like, that yellow vest protest is being picked up across multiple countries now. I think Michael from EEA just reported on that today, but like many of us, those that are coming forward and speaking about these things are being met with some, you could say, AI interference. That's starting to get a little bit more noticeable. Like many of us are having our volumes adjusted, our systems crashed. It seems like somebody's got remote access to our systems. I, for instance, have said several times, my cable company has been out multiple times. They cannot explain why I have 5 open channels on my internet connection when I should only have 2. They can't gain access to the other 3. Let me put it that way. So things like, when I go to upload a video, sometimes all of a sudden all my files are corrupted. And multiple other YouTubers are starting to respond on that and say the same thing. So just be aware of that. But it's when we bring those energies together collectively that we can, they can't hit us all. So we can still rise above that. But I know each person is having their own issues in their own lives. And we're seeing as these energies really intensify at the end of the year, because we're at the end of the cycle, beginning of a new cycle, people are going to notice those physical symptoms. If they haven't gone through the majority of that DNA activation, they're going to be hit pretty hard right about now. So just be aware of that. A lot of people are seeing things visually, of course, especially up in the sky. And then, of course, people are hitting those flu symptoms a little bit more intense than maybe they had before. You really love to eat a certain food and you really just can't even get it down at this point. You were saying you gave up sugar, I heard. A lot of us are being nudged more powerfully, let me say, in those areas, because when we kind of go against that, it's almost like Pavlov's dogs a little bit. We'll be hit with something that makes us just go, I don't really want to do that again.
Yeah.
It was a little too uncomfortable for me,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you've got me thinking about this a little differently, because I've been thinking it's the sugar from my diet that's been sort of because I felt on, Wednesday the 12th was like I woke up to a flat. I tried to get it repaired at this place and they closed an hour early, and it was just everything kept going wrong, and I felt agitated a little bit. And even without anything going wrong, I still felt that sort of underlying agitated feeling going on, and I just thought it was the sugar, and now you've got me thinking maybe it was something else. Maybe I've sort of thought it was the sugar, but maybe it's these energies coming in.
Yeah, no, it's not. And what's very interesting, though, is that your body's like, well, let me expel anything else so that it isn't working for me. That's what I think is very interesting in that correlation, because your body's like, well, I am trying to adjust to these higher frequencies. So it's narrowing in on whatever isn't really working in your best interest. And everybody will notice that in a different way, whether that's a relationship for you. I know a lot of spouses, some of them are, hang on if you can, like I said, that love is there for a reason, but just be aware that not everybody is in the same area. But yes, many people have reported that since 12/12, they've had this anxiety, almost this irritation. I just posted on my YouTube community page today, don't be surprised if you have these emotional purges that come up that you can't quite stop. A lot of us have just had these weird circumstances that are so frustrating. I almost quit my channel yesterday and deleted the whole thing in a moment of frustration because I got some really weird news about taxes and all this other stuff that just kind of hit me. But what happened is I allowed myself to go to those lower vibrations.
Yeah.
And once we do, it's like quicksand. And so I had to call on my support network, and that's why right now it's so important. I just wanted to tell everybody, make sure you have those support networks. Like your show is so important. Like Ronnie and Susan were just saying, they look forward to this every week. It's when we connect with these other people that we can rise above that and pull each other out, because each of us is going to get hit in our own unique way, whether that's just, like you said, this calamity of errors, or just seems like you can't catch a break. Everything's just kind of going wrong. And it's to bring attention to certain things, but at the same time, I feel like it's almost a test to see if you could pull yourself out of it. Because I know that the way I feel best is by sharing with everybody else my experience and helping other people with their own experiences when they have questions about that physical process. And if I had deleted my channel, I would have really shot myself in the foot and a lot of other people too. Yeah. And so it was just by the grace of God that these connections that I've already forged. I had 2 people reach out to me that had no idea what I was experiencing at that moment, but they could feel my, you could say, off frequency. Yeah. They could feel my being in a weird place, and they said, hey, I just wanted to reach out to you, and they had no idea, but at the same time, whatever they said was so divinely timed and so perfect and synchronistic that it pulled me back out of where I was, and it allowed me just to kind of go, okay, take a breath, just kind of sit back and ponder it, observe for a second, and don't feed into it for a second and see if that changes, and it did, obviously.
So
but at the same time, I think all of us, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, is it just automatic? Is it just purging something out, or is it showing us something that we need to deal with, or a little of both, or what do you think about that?
I think it's an onion. Yeah, I think it's many layers of different things all into one. I think, yes, it's bringing things to the surface that we've all kind of thought we dealt with, but, you know, when it's really difficult. Like Magenta Pixie just put out a really great video this week, and I think she touched on something that's pretty important right now, and I talk about it a little bit in a lot of my stuff, and that there's different classes of people, but she narrowed it down a little bit further, and what she said is, you know, there's a group of people that is in 5D, there's a group of people that's in 3D, and then there's a group of people that has kind of their foot in both worlds, and that's where we want to be, is at being able to have your foot in both worlds. But right now with this is probably the most intense energy we've had thrown at us at this moment. And like I said, it's going to be through 12/27, and it's going to be, you know, narrowing out, you could say, cutting the chaff from the wheat, you know, really narrowing out who's really going to allow themselves to be plugged into this, even on an unconscious level. So there is that group of people I discussed who is still going to go through this process, but they're going to do it on a much more unconscious level than some of us who are doing it very consciously and trying to work with the energies and understand the energies. And so when you have this group of people, though, who's got their foot in both worlds, they're feeling everything from both sides. So it's really difficult for us, and pretty much everybody listening to your show is doing that. You know, we're acutely aware of what's happening and trying to elevate with these higher energies, but we're also trying to get through and survive day to day, you know, in this 3D environment. So I think it's just, we need to be really aware of what's being brought to our attention and not get sucked into, you know, like I said, reach out to that support system if you get to that place where you're like, I'm stuck on this feedback loop where I'm just sinking into this negativity, and that's where we want to not get stuck at.
Yeah, because even when they were closed and I couldn't get the tire fixed, I'm like, well, evidently, because I didn't really lose the knowledge with it. I just felt irritated. So even though that happened, I was like, well, for some reason, I'm not supposed to go there tonight. You know, I mean, I know if I was, they wouldn't have closed earlier and I would have got it done. So I wasn't like tripping off of it. I was just sort of like, oh, just another thing that went wrong. Even though I had that knowledge, I still felt that aggravation or irritation with, you know, the wasted trip up there and all of that, you know.
Right.
And then I had to deal with it today. I had to go in the rain, or what was it, yesterday? I can't even, my days are running together, but I had to go in the rain. I guess that was yesterday. And stand out in the rain, it's like freezing, and I'm having to get this fixed. And, you know, while it's like raining, I'm like, if I just had it done last night, it was dry and, you know, it wasn't as cold.
Right.
And I was still tripping off of it a little bit, you know.
Right, and my thought process would be, because I do the same thing, but what I found is if I can just stand back for a second, there's something that usually happens that makes it like the divine timing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's been multiple times, and I'm sure you as a creator can say the same thing, that something happens with our videos, that they can't get uploaded, or there's a corrupt file or something weird that we have to re-edit or do something, you know what I mean, adjust. But then when we do release it, it's like, well, that's why. Because it wasn't the right time. This is better now, or this happened, and this I can include this now, or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with the tire. Whether it's even on an unconscious level, because I'll have things happen like that too. But then it's like whether I'm at the Rite Aid or the Walgreens, or it doesn't matter where you're at. We actually activate other people. So even though sometimes we're not aware, I think we get put in other people's paths. So maybe somebody wasn't working the night before. Well, it was all dry and clear for you, right? But they were working the next day, and just by you being there, like just your voice, even if you didn't say anything, you know, in a weird way, they just it'll activate them in a weird way. So I think we're being put right now physically in a lot of people's paths because time is, I feel like, I don't know if everybody else feels like there's this intensity ramping up. You know what I mean? Like this is getting more intense and more intense, and that I'm trying to say this in the nicest possible way, because I don't want to feed into any fear narratives, but that time is running out for people to be in denial. Let me put it that way. Like I said, if you look across the world right now, every leader is being tested. If leaders are not for the best and highest good of the people are standing up right now and saying, well, we're not okay with that anymore. You know what I mean? And that we've never seen. I'm 43 years old. We've never seen this before. Where across the globe, everybody's getting kind of outed if they're not doing things that are of the light, so to speak. All these things of darkness are being brought to the light. So we're just going to see that increase and increase until these systems shift. But I think we're looking at some big dominoes that are going to start falling, and I just think everybody needs to be
I'm tripping here because, like, you said you're 43.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm like tripping.
Sorry.
I'm like, wait a minute. You seem like you're like in your 30s and stuff when I think back. Like,
oh, thank you. God, you're so sweet. I know I'm 43. Yeah, I have an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old. Yeah, no, I'm getting what they would say on that other side. I say 43 is a new 20 because we're going backwards now. That's what I say. But yeah, I get carded for lighters though. No kidding. I don't know if it's my little shirts that I wear. I have no idea. But I'm like, no, really, I'm yeah. My son's right there. He's like 18. They're like, that's yours? And I'm like, yeah, what did you think? Like, oh my gosh, that's so creepy.
yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
but something, you know.
They ask me if I need help putting batteries in a controller when I buy it and stuff. I must look really old. Do you need help putting batteries in that Xbox controller? It's like, no, I know how to put batteries in an Xbox controller. But yeah.
Well, if we go by what Dr. Phil says, I would have been stunted when I first used cannabis, which was 17 years old. So apparently my brain is still stuck there, I guess, if we just want to go by Dr. Phil. Yeah. So maybe that's why I'm so young. Oh, man. But, you know,
the benefits
I just
of
wanted
cannabis.
Everybody, I don't want to take... Yeah, right. I don't want to take up anybody's, like, you know, I don't want to take up all your time because I know you have so many people that like to call in and connect with you on Friday nights. But I did just want to say to everybody, be really aware that this time is really important. So I know a lot of us backed away from turbulence or saying anything because we all got jacked in the beginning. That's just a given. Most of us, we tried to say things at the beginning of our awakening. We were met with so much resistance. It was a complete pain. So we learned very quickly go along to get along when we were around those people that we love that weren't there yet. And I would say meet people where they can be met. What I would say at this time, though, is that this is really ramping up, and it's really important that we not only capitalize on the energy that's happening around the earth, but to really push and plant those seeds where we can with those loved ones that we have, especially during this holiday season when we'll be around family more than normal, or those people that we love that we don't necessarily have a chance to connect with that are in our frequency, let me put it that way. Mm-hmm. We all have those people in our world, and really kind of push that something is happening. Please pay attention in the most loving way that you can, you know, whatever that is. Mm-hmm. On my channel, I'm pushing people to bring forward, you know, really push that we are changing in a physical sense. Please start looking at that because that is the biggest thing that's going on. Please don't keep feeding into this politics, you know, distraction techniques and all these other distractionary techniques that we're seeing them push forward right now. So just that's my advice, everybody, kind of push forward right now because that denial break point is what I would call it, needs to really be abolished. You know, we really need to bring forward that there are massive changes happening. If you look up, we can all see it in the sky as well as our own physical bodies at this point. So that time for kind of weaving into the background, I would say, is about shot for all of us. Let me put it in the nicest possible way.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
That's
now.
what I'd say. Yeah, much better. And that's why it's so important for us to have that soul family that we can connect with. That, like I said, I have a couple people I can reach out to and say, hey, I'm in this moment, and you know, I know it's a feedback loop, and that's what people need to understand too. Is that when we get to this point where we activate this DNA, and we can feed into the connection with all the rest of everybody who's activated, and also the morphogenic field, and that is sometimes not our thoughts, and so we're being, I hate to say it, attacked a little bit, you know, and so we need to be very careful that whatever thoughts we accept as our own are ours. And it's very easy to kind of get into this feedback loop of negativity because you've accepted something that's not yours. Does that make sense?
Definitely, yeah.
So, anyways, it happens to the best of us. It happened to me, like I said.
Yeah, and I think what you said was a good thing, not to do any drastic moves in the moment, in the heat of the feelings you're having, because you might regret it just an hour later. So, good thing you didn't shut your channel down. That would have bothered a lot of people.
Oh gosh, yeah, that would have been silly, and you know, just
it would have done the opposite of what we're here to do.
Exactly, and even I, like I said, as much as my mouth is very large and I'm not afraid to shout it out, even I have to have those people that support me and say, hey, calm it down, take a moment, just breathe for a second, reground, because it's really easy, especially as we develop this empathy with the field, to, like I said, plug into some of those fears and anxieties of other people. And so we have to just sometimes take that break and say, okay, let me do something silly. Let me laugh. And that's the biggest advice I could give people right now. Do those things in those moments that make you be a child again. I know it sounds really silly. Dance around your kitchen. Put on music. You know, do something that takes you out of whatever it was that got you in there. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
As hard as that is to do. You know what I mean?
And music does wonders. Like if I'm in a really bad mood,
Absolutely.
like angry and stuff, if I put on Rage Against the Machine, you'd think it would feed into that anger, but it actually makes me feel better. You know, I hear
right. We all have that. I have a little Limp Biscuit that I pull out of once in a can. You know, you know, we all have those things that whatever it is for you. You know, there are some frequencies of music that definitely will take you to a kind of probably a weird place. But as long as you're empowered within yourself, it doesn't matter what it is. You can transmute that, and as long as you understand, you know what I mean. Everybody's got their own thing. So yeah, just trust yourself and go where you're guided. But anyways, I just wanted to say hi, and I love you guys, and hang in there. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, but I think it's going to be really great because we have to have change. We really do. We could not stay in the systems that we were in, and we really, like you were saying, Shane, and I loved it so much, we need to be a for-people society, and we really need not to be a for-profit and corruption and greed society, because that was not working for us.
Totally.
So, unfortunately, some of these systems have to fall, and it's going to look a little chaotic in the interim, but man, I'm excited about what the possibilities are to build forward in new systems. So I'm going to leave everybody with that. I love you all. Have a fantastic holiday season if I don't talk to you or see you, but hopefully I'll be checking in here and there.
Sounds great. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Okay.
Lots of love to you.
Lots of love to you guys. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's go.
You're listening to The Love Stream.
Unbiased and on the fence.
All right, going back to the phone lines. 814, you are unmuted. Who am I talking to?
Hello, my name is Todd.
Hey, Todd, how's it going?
It's only Todd with one D, not Todd Duh, by the way.
Okay. Perfect. Where are you calling in from, Todd?
I'm calling in from Pennsylvania.
Oh, very nice, very nice. What's your name in the chat? Do you chat ever? Are you in the chat?
No, I'm not, but I'm an avid listener, as well as an avid viewer of your channel. So I would just say that I really am happy to be able to communicate with you and the family, and I very much feel a part of the family here.
Perfect. Yeah, I would have put 2 Ds, so thanks for telling me, Todd.
Well, you know, it saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, very nice, man. So, are you an experiencer of the Mandela effect, and what's kind of going on in your life?
Yeah, I'm definitely an experiencer of the Mandela effect. I would say that I was one of the people that woke up relatively early.
Oh, wow. When? What year was it?
Well, let's just say when I really woke up, it was 2011. April Fool's Day, in fact.
Ah.
Walking through life like the fool, I realized, oh my gosh, it's all flipped upside down.
Oh my gosh, what a day to wake up. It feels like the universe is playing a big April Fool's joke on you or something, probably, huh?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. And believe me, the world kind of came crashing down on me in my my normal life. And I've just been, as I've gone through it and learned more and more truth and created a very, very strong connection with Source and a very strong bond, I've realized that, just how much we contain in our hearts that we're not willing to acknowledge, and the way that reality kind of opened up to me was to realize how much lies in our collective hearts. And that's really what has been going on with this transition as we're going forward is, like your previous caller was talking about, going through these rough times and, realizing what we have to deal with, internally and everything. It's internally and it's external because we're humans immersed in a society where we have to interact with one another. And when you're dealing with someone that has something that's lying in their heart, and I use that term as a double entendre, if you know what I mean, you can really see what it is that they're dealing with on a fear level and what it is that they're putting into you as an empath on your level. Do you know what I mean?
Right. So do you think, what was your wake-up experience like? Was it preceded by a dark night of the soul type period for you? Like some?
No, I was a former scientist. Who came up with a lot of inventions and basically tried to convince my coworkers that I had a lot of really good ideas.
Oh, I see.
And when they didn't accept them, I was like, are your eyes open? Can you see what I'm talking about? I mean, I have ideas to change the world.
Yeah.
This sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And, it was really idealistic on my part. But on their part, it really illustrated, exactly what they were dealing with and who they were and where they were coming from. Because basically what I got was nothing but resistance and, basically the whole dismissal, you could say.
Right.
And the talking down and this and that. And it was shortly thereafter that I ended up losing my job and all sorts of things. And it was, it's been an interesting experience, this whole ascension period for me, because I really took it upon myself to start just saying, I'm going to chuck it all out the window and just be selfless and truthful and loving.
Right.
And I started doing those three things religiously. I'm kind of come from a Catholic upbringing, which has a Christian, overhang to it of repentance in everything. And I went and repented all my sins and did everything that I could to correct all the things that I had done wrong in the past with everyone that I had dealt with. And I carried forward, just being truthful, selfless, and loving. And boy, oh boy, did that increase my connection to Source. It also really increased my disconnection to those that were not in that alignment, those that wanted to use and manipulate and hurt. So I just want to say, as a person that kind of woke up early and has been dealing with this for some time, for all of the community out there, I know that everyone's been dealing with a lot of this and how family members and coworkers and everything accept you and everything like that. Hang in there.
Yeah.
Continue to, be the true, unique you that God has bestowed upon you. you know?
Yeah.
And,
well, it brings you more in alignment with
just,
Source, doesn't it? I mean, because Source is love.
Oh, yeah.
So it sort of reminds me of when Jesus said, you know, not my will, but my Father's will. That would be the will of love, and to be love in every respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's sort of letting go of ego. It's all connected. When you start to, you know, dissect all these different views and everything, you can see the truth is right there hidden within all of it. You know, it's just sort of religion takes things and twists it and takes the focus off of what, you know, where it should be. And then we sort of miss the point.
Well,
you know?
you have to understand that, with religion, it's institutionalized.
Yeah.
So it's made to centralize power around one particular figure. In the Catholic Church is a very good example. The Vicar of Rome, which is the representative of Christ in Rome, which is the Pope.
All right.
Okay? That's what he basically parades around the earth, pretending to be that.
Yeah.
And I'm not coming down on Catholics because, believe me, I come from a Catholic background.
Yeah.
But to communicate with my Catholic family on those particular grounds, it doesn't get me very far. But,
well, I think Jesus said you will know.
When you talk about,
you know, when he said you'll know where people by their fruit or whatever, and I think it's apparent when you sort of look at what comes out, you know, and it's like, you know, they're supposed to be the representative of Christ, and who would ever, you know, imagine Christ doing something like this? You know what I mean? So, I mean, right there, it should be clear to see that we shouldn't be going to anyone else but the source, like Jesus actually taught us to pray to the Father ourselves, you know, not to go to a man, not to even call a man father. I mean, there's so many things within the Bible itself that are little clues that the institution, as you mentioned, isn't the route to go. It should be like a one-on-one relationship that we all have with the Creator ourselves.
We all have it within us.
Yeah.
Yeah, within ourselves, exactly. And that's the thing. The closer you get to the core of the unique expression of you, the closer you get to Source. And that's what all of this ascension process is really about.
Yeah.
It's about taking it down to our core within us, discarding all of the egoic parts or the parts that are not of us that we project out into society.
Yeah.
And really understand, why am I saying this to this person? Why am I projecting this particular love to this person? Why am I not just telling them the core truth of me? And really laying it out there for all to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of us have stuck our neck out there and regretted it, I think, so many times that we don't really want to do that. And then on the other hand, you know, I come across that Golden Child Mandela effect a while back and realized what it was saying is in the movie, you know, the Eddie Murphy character cracks jokes about being the chosen one the whole time. And I think, you know, we have a problem with extremes where we, you know, we don't want to get into ego so much that we don't realize that we have a central role to play in our own life, and that we are the chosen one for our life and our path and our mission and our, you know, just what we should be doing. And a lot of times we can try to push the ego down so much that we actually don't take the reins of what we should be doing, because we feel like that's moving into ego too much, but really it isn't. It's stepping into the role of really your purpose.
Who you uniquely are.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, and you know, that's one of the things that Christ came when he was on earth. He was showing us this route, this path, and he established it uniquely, just laying it out as the golden rule.
Yeah.
And it was so simple and so easy to understand and so easy to follow.
Yeah.
You know, the golden rule breaks out to the golden mean. Okay? It's roughly 60-40 for you and me.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's
60-40 for you.
Yeah.
60 for you, 40 for me. So 60% selfless and 40% IB.
Right.
So when you think of it in those terms and putting it out there, and being golden really is adopting a way that you can exist that creates a lack of need.
Yeah.
Because when you're giving and giving and giving, well, you don't need anything from me, brother.
Yeah.
I'm giving to you. I'm giving you 60%. I'm only taking 40% for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know, the funny thing
and
is,
as long as I'm truthful and loving about it,
what
do we have to argue about? There's nothing there. It's so simple.
Yeah. And think about it, Todd. If everybody was doing that, then you've got every single person on the planet looking out for you, you know? You don't,
it's
you don't
an
need to look out for
instantaneous
yourself.
phase transition for society,
Yeah.
Shane. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's such an easy mindset to adopt and to really just try.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking at, you know, I'm a scientist by training and trade. And that's the one thing that nature always communicated to me was this golden mean.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in the nautilus seashells, in the way that they spiral out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see it in our symmetries in our human bodies. You see it all throughout nature. It's just beautiful.
Sunflower seeds or the sunflowers.
It's screaming to us in our face.
Yeah.
It's right there.
I remember when I was...
we're the disgrace because we don't acknowledge it.
Yeah, it's right there. Whether it's the, you know, the toilet water flushing down in the spiral or the bathtub water draining out in the spiral or the spiral of the galaxies, it's like the signature of the creator in every single thing. And it's amazing. I remember being in art school and they were pointing it out and I'm like, dude, this is phenomenal. You've got all these things that are seemingly unconnected, yet...
Exactly. That's where I encountered it, was in art.
Oh, yeah. And
that's what opened my eyes to it. It was crazy.
Yeah, and it's in all of the, like, you know, all the buildings that survived, you know, all the really old architecture and, the, of course, the pyramids and things like that. It's there.
The artists tell you that it is the ratio that is the most beautiful and appeasing to the human eye.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at art that's in that ratio, it is. It's just there.
Yeah.
And you can't deny it, and it's screaming at you in your face.
Yeah.
And when you realize it and start applying it to yourself as a multidimensional being,
mm-hmm.
you really free yourself from all of the shackles that we've been shackled with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's used in everything from logos to, you know, and it would really bother me because I would create logos for people, you know, as a job for a while, and I would stick to some of these principles, and they would be like, well, can you move this here? And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, that's not really at the golden mean spot, or you know, and I knew they wouldn't understand it or whatever, but, you know, aesthetically pleasing, it should go here, you know, but, you know, you can't really tell somebody that doesn't know. They're kind of going off of whatever's in their mind, you know.
Well, you know, and it's kind of interesting the way that we built these distortions upon distortions upon distortions to think that, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger or something is the most beautiful man on earth. You know, this is the thinking.
Yeah.
And it's really not that. It's the average person that just has that ratio reflected in their body.
Yeah.
You know? And it has nothing to do with being anorexic or a bodybuilder or anything like that.
Yeah. And it's funny because there was this mask that you could get to lay over pictures, and it was basically showing all the points, features of the face being in a golden ratio formation, you know, and that you could put it on anybody that was considered good looking, you know, all the celebrities and stuff, and like it would match up perfectly. So anybody that was considered really good looking, you put this mask on there, and what you would notice is they usually have one feature that would not fit the bill, so to speak. So like Angelina Jolie, she would be perfectly in that mask, except her lips were a little bit bigger. And then maybe another actress, you know, she would fit completely perfectly in the mask, except her eyes would be a little bigger or further apart. Or there was always one little unique thing about it that they fit this overlay that you put on their face, but they had something unique about them that made them stand out, you know, from just being beautiful or pretty or handsome or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't fit the mask too well, but Oh, well.
But you see, beauty... well, beauty extends more than skin deep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's the physical representation is just one aspect of our being. When you start applying this golden mean to your mental abilities, your emotional abilities, and your spiritual abilities, you really see the path that Christ was laying out for us in how we can just simply exist in a loving society like that, at the snap of a finger, in the twinkling of an eye.
Yeah. Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because really these are, I like to look at them as our vessels or whatever. It's not really who we are, you know. But it is amazing that you can look from, you know, the top of the arm to the bottom of the arm has the ratio, and as you move out through all the fingers at each joint, it follows that ratio. And, you know, Da Vinci knew. That's what the whole, I can't even think of that artwork with the man with his arms out or whatever. He was, you could see the...
the name escapes me.
Was it Peruvian man or
something
like
man?
I can't remember.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I forget the name.
Yeah. Whatever it is, people know the one. It was on a Van Halen
jack.
CD. Yeah, yeah. I knew it from a Van Halen CD back in the 90s, I think. Back in the CD days.
Yeah, that one. You see that's the golden mean right there.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's kind of funny, you know, I was listening to you with the previous caller talking about marijuana, just to change the subject slightly, talking about marijuana and everything, and I wanted to bring alcohol into that as well. The discussion, I just wanted to follow up on that. Everything is perfect in moderation. But you see, alcohol exposes the truth of your being. Okay? Marijuana exposes your heart of your being. It expands your heart of your being, and alcohol expands the truth of your being. So when you're doing either one or both in moderation, you can really see in reflection, if you don't take them both too far, you can really see in reflection who you are.
That's interesting. Like use them as a tool.
Exactly. This is what I did on my ascension path, just to accelerate things.
Yeah.
But that's just a little aside.
Yeah.
Not that anyone should abide, but I just have to say that, you know, to not delay, you can take a little bit here and a little bit there and see where you are to your own dismay. Okay?
Yeah.
So when you're a little bit drunk, you tend to do things that show you, that embarrass you, where you really are, where the real truth of you is. When you're a little bit high, well, you're embarrassed by and by.
Yeah.
And you can see and feel where you are and where you're not.
And that would explain what I was saying earlier about how I would tend to cry more and not be able to hide my emotions on marijuana. Yeah, that goes right along with it.
Yeah, my girlfriend actually picked up on that, and we were talking about it. She said, you know, she wasn't expecting that from you, but, you know, she was kind of surprised that you were that in touch. And I just told her, I was like, well, I was probably going to try to talk to you tonight, just to see where it was going.
Yeah, that's very cool to know. Somebody's asking about LSD or maybe psychedelics in general. Is there anything about what they reveal that you know about your nature or whatever?
Well, yeah, I've taken LSD, And I will tell you, I was smelling out my ears and hearing out my mouth and tasting out my nose. I mean, it messed me up.
Yeah, that is weird.
I can't believe.
Yeah, there is this mixture
It's the
of
weirdest
like,
thing ever.
yeah, you go in a room and the wall's bright orange and it's so loud to your ears. It's like, whoa, the wall is loud, you know? Yeah, but yeah, I know what you're saying. There's this blending. That's why I see a huge difference. I was talking about DMT and my experience with that. You know, I remember actually my first time on LSD, it seeming like cars where we were swimming down the road. So it just took what was there and changed it into something else. And the gas pumps looked like soldiers, and it was just weird. I mean, it took what was there and changed it into other things. It was much different with DMT.
Yeah, here's what I got to say about like LSD and any sort of big hallucinogens. They dramatically expand your mind almost instantaneously to the point where you have to reconcile what is reality and what is not. Okay? And I don't know if you've ever done it and had a bad trip.
Yeah, my first time, yeah.
When you're committed to it, you have to realize this is a bad trip.
Yeah.
I have to realize what real reality is, because I'm smelling out my ears right now and it's not cool, you know?
Yeah.
And so you have to literally manually take control of your faculties.
Yeah.
So with strong hallucinogens, they force you to make a strong connection to your body.
Yeah.
And reprogram it and reaffirm what it is and how your body functions. But I wouldn't suggest those at all, quite frankly, Shane, as any sort of accelerator to the ascension process, just because it's way too drastic and dramatic. Yeah. Unless you're really, really grounded and able to, you know, bring yourself back to a really strong center.
Yeah, especially acid, because you're
I
looking
just
at
say
8 to
that
12
from
hours.
experience.
Yeah, you're kind of locked into it.
Yeah, it's a commitment.
Yeah, and the guy.
I ended up tripping to Star Wars one time, and it scared the hell out of me so bad that I never wanted to watch it again. And I'm just like, it's Star Wars. It's not a big deal.
Right.
I watched it when I was a little kid, you know?
Yeah. And for me, it was, what was it? Peter Pan. It was the most magical movie I've ever seen, and I felt like I was there. I couldn't believe how, like, the orchestra was, the music and everything moved with Tinkerbell, and it was quite a wonderful experience. I really felt like I was there with them, and so I think, you know, maybe if you Peter Pan, it might have been different than Star Wars. I can imagine that being pretty
exactly,
scary.
You know, and it's all the
set
frame
and
of
setting.
mind. You know, Star Wars is good and evil, whereas Tinkerbell and all them are, you know, much more light course and, oh, wow, let's actually be in the fifth dimension type thing.
Right. Yeah.
Fun times.
Yeah, that was, I've had some pretty cool experiences with that. And the only reason I had a bad trip was because the guy a coworker that sold it to me at the time, he came over and he hung out about 2 hours and then he left. And, you know, I'm at my bachelor pad all by myself as a teenager, and I had no idea that it's not like something you should probably do and hang out all by yourself. So like the room was alive and breathing, and just like, I was like, oh my gosh, the carpet was swimming around, and I had one of those acoustic ceilings.
Been there, done that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I just laid back on my couch and watched the show on my ceiling, because, you know, that pareidolia sets in and you just see, at one point I looked up at the ceiling and those dots became smiley faces all over my ceiling. I was like, oh my gosh, smiley faces. But they could have easily been like evil clowns or something if you were in the wrong state of mind, you know. So.
Well, I tell you what, I went to Amsterdam and did too many mushrooms one time, and I have to tell you, I had a 3-hour conversation with a jacket that was on the hook, thinking it was my best friend.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and you could see why.
Until I realized I'm talking to a jacket on a hook.
Yeah, it is. It's a cool experience, but yeah, I agree with you, and that's why, you know, DMT is like a 10 or 15 minute trip, you know, and it's like Ayahuasca, I think if you drink the tea, you're sort of locked in for a little bit longer, like 4 to 6 or 8 hours or something, they say. But, you know, being that you could smoke it and be plunged into the psychedelic world, and then it seems like you're there at least a half hour or more, and then you're back and you look and it's only been a few minutes. That's a real trip in and of itself. Just the time.
Well, look, you know, the shamans use those drugs to basically get a quick answer to a tough question.
Yeah.
That they were doing for their tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not really there. Okay? This is an individual experience right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, if you're seeking hardcore hallucinogenics to really understand what source is, you're not really going to understand it so well going that route. I mean, that's like taking a sledgehammer to shape a fine crystal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Totally, man. That's a good thing.
I mean, if you took a sledgehammer to make facets on a diamond,
right?
Okay, that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, I would say it would be much better using a little precise hammer and maybe a little wedge to shape it nice and finely.
Mm-hmm.
So if any hallucinogens, the safest I've ever encountered are mushrooms, and you know, doing them in moderation.
Yeah.
But you know, moderation is the key when it comes to any of these things.
Yeah.
You can use them as tools to accelerate your expansion of consciousness, expansion of heart, mind, body, and soul. You have to do it in moderation and with control.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and like anything, we tend to overdo
my
it.
little bit of wisdom, and you know, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, and you know, like that guy I was talking about that left me there at my apartment. He said, I'm like, I just need one hit of acid or whatever. He goes, oh no, you just always do 2, man. I've always done 2. You should do 2. So, yeah, I had 2 hits of acid my first time, and I wish it was just 1 because it was a little bit much to hang out there by myself with. So.
Yeah, I always thought they should give that to you with a wedding ring. You know.
Oh my God.
You're married to it. Enjoy it. I'll
take
the wedding ring off you tomorrow sometime.
Yeah. Well, I heard with ecstasy that they would that was prescribed as like a you know, they would give it to couples as like a marriage counseling medication or something years ago. And you know, this is of course,
really
decades and decades ago, like 50s or 60s or something crazy like that. But yeah, that's pretty wild to imagine that they use I guess that's MDMA for something like that, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm waiting. I'm really what I've been doing is, you know, I don't do the drugs so often anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I drink beer and I've smoked pot on occasion, but not so much. And what I found is in these energies, we're reaching a more natural ecstasy. You know what I mean? When the energies hit and they hit just right, I mean, you really feel it to your delight. I mean, it's just beautiful. And, you know, words don't describe some of the feelings that we've all been subjected to.
Yeah.
That Source is showing us the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to say that, you know, I don't know that we'll need these sorts of things in the future. I think they're more or less tools in the midst of, or in the pits of this hell on earth, if you want to describe it that way, that we're immersed in to teach us so we can learn what it is that we're really trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, those little things give us hints and little breadcrumbs and morsels here and there that when you think about it and apply it and really understand consciously what you're doing and how it applied and really fit in your body, you know, you can use that as that tool to grow from and to learn from.
Right.
Do you know what I mean, Shane?
Yeah, and I was just actually thinking that before you said that, is that, like, I think we're kind of moving into this period where we're not even going to need this stuff anymore. The energies are getting higher, we're getting more connected, the veils, thinning, and, that sort of gets you.
What we want is the real McCoy.
Right.
We don't want some fake thing that it's just us.
Yeah,
We
totally.
want the real thing with real relationships with real people, really feeling this way in a conversation with another being.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at, and that's what we want, and why not? It really boils down to what I said in the first few minutes there was, getting to the core truth, the unique part of you, and dropping all of the facade, all of the bullshit, and truly being selfless and applying that golden rule, okay?
Yeah.
And being in that loving state and loving frame of mind in your emotional state.
Right.
Just realizing that I'm not here to harm anyone, and I understand that people are sometimes trying to harm me, but I forgive them when they do, because they know not what they do.
Right.
And sometimes they do know what they do.
But not on a
But they
deeper
do
level.
not know.
There's always a deeper
On a
understanding.
deeper level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm totally with you, Todd. Totally, man.
You already got it.
Yeah.
You already got it. So I'm not telling you anything you don't really know. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a call and touch base with you, Shane. I really welcome, the opportunity to speak with you, and hopefully we build some resonance out there with other people.
Yeah, definitely.
I admire what you've been doing. It's just a wonderful job.
It is.
And,
And it's a
really
wonderful
kudos
job
to you.
to be a part of. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm totally honored to be doing this, and it's like I've never been happier,
Well, that's cool.
So, yeah.
That
it's
is so
totally
cool.
I finally hit my sweet spot in life, That's cool.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's going to get sweeter.
I agree,
I know
man.
that.
It has. Just over the last year, it just keeps getting better and better, and the more I can sort of rise above the chaos going on, the more I can that I realize that I can rise above all of the chaos going on out there. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have to get sucked into all this stuff. So, yeah, and I still enjoy looking into things and stuff like that. But it is sort of it's easy to get sucked back into stuff too. Start taking sides.
Well, I gotta say, it's the butterfly effect through a megaphone that you got going on right here.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
It is so awesome that you build up this loving community that truly cares about each other.
Yeah, man.
And are really just sharing the core truth of their experience and where they're at and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I got to say, that's propagating out and making serious waves in the consciousness, in everyone's being. And we're going to a wonderful place.
I agree, man. Totally.
Heck yeah.
Well, don't be a stranger, Todd. Call and check back in with us sometime, man. It was nice talking to you.
Oh, sure thing. And, I thank you for, letting me, spout off my spiel there. And like I said, I'm only interested in resonance.
Yeah.
So anybody can take what they want from what we said. I know we talked about very controversial things.
Oh, yeah.
But please just build off of it in a resonant way for what's true to the unique expression of you.
Right.
And if anything's outside of that unique part of you, if you didn't have that encounter with drugs or anything like that we were talking about, please don't judge it.
Yeah.
Let that just be knowledge or gnosis that experienced users like you and I have, that we were just kind of throwing out there for other people to take a little morsel, a little breadcrumb, and take it back into their being.
Totally, man. Yeah.
And those things aren't necessary.
Right.
What really is necessary are those core things that I talked about in the first few minutes.
Yep, the love and all that,
So, Yep. Love, truth, and being selfless to the golden rule.
Amen to that,
That's
brother.
the key to changing the world for all to see.
I couldn't agree more, man.
All right, Shane.
Lots of love to you,
On that
brother.
note, I'm going to check out here.
All right, man. I appreciate the call.
All right. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
You take care, okay?
All right, you too,
All
brother.
right. Lots of love to you and the family and everyone.
All right, you should hop in the chat sometime. I know I like lurking too, but, you know, people might want to say hi to you.
I'm a lurker. I can't help it. I'm a creepy son of a bitch when it comes that way. So you just got to deal with me when I lurk around. I'll just spring on you.
Well, I'm glad you took the time to call in, man.
Thanks a lot, Shade. Okay.
All right, later, buddy.
Take care. All right, bye.
Your calls, your stories, on air. You're listening to the Love Stream.
Sharing the love and spreading the light all around the world. This is Unbiased and On the Fence.
All right, talking about going back to the phone lines. If there's anybody that's listening on the phone and you do want to talk, press *2 on your phone. If you are on the web, press the little hand button, I think, to raise your hand. But if you're on the phone, it's *2, and I will know you want to talk. So, yeah, great information, Todd, and great perspective. Yeah, I really couldn't agree more. Very cool. So, yeah, and I'm definitely usually a lurker, too. Just hang out there in the... Well, first off, I'm usually busy listening and doing something else, and it's just kind of difficult to chat and have two different conversations. I'd end up having to watch the video twice, and then other times I don't want to disrupt the chat, sort of like hog up the attention or anything, you know, because I'll see like, oh man, there's like 20 people here that know me, I don't know. It's kind of weird, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really being a hermit as much as I'm not trying to disrupt the stream or whatever. Just know I'm always there in spirit, guys. Let's see. Nobody want to raise their hands? We're at, what, an hour and 42 minutes into this? And thank you all so much for your contributions, man. That's incredible. I really appreciate that. Trying to see if I missed anything here in the chat window. Oh, nope. Nobody's waiting. Not so fancy, Nancy. If you want to call in. Did you already smoke that doob? I'll tell you some jokes. No one has their hand up. *2 if you want to talk, but nobody's got their hand up, so. No worries, Ronnie. I'm not going anywhere. I'll just stay on here and not say anything. No, I had a bunch of things I was thinking about following up with, and now I can't think of any of them. It's just how it works sometimes. Okay. Yay! Thank you, Not So Fancy Nancy. Where we go one, we go all. But I still need a phone call. Megan. You guys are so happy and loving and joyful. Oh, don't forget to call the Canadian number. I started to say Ronnie. Nancy. Yeah, where we go when we go. Yeah, overprotected Sherry is going to call in after Not So Fancy Nancy, I think. Tell us some of her really cool stories. As long as she can do it without breaking confidentiality with her and her patients. Okay. Drum roll, please. I saw a caller add in, but there's the hand. Okay, gonna go back to the phone lines. This is Shane. You're live on the air. Who am I talking
to? Hi, Shane. It's Nancy.
All right. I kind of
It's
thought
Nancy.
it was
Can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is there a delay?
Yeah, there is a little bit of a delay, but it's okay. I was putting your name on there, so I was talking slow while I was multitasking. But got your name up there now. We're all set.
Oh, boy. I thought I had my hand raised, and then I realized, oh, maybe I shouldn't have smoked.
Well, like Ronnie said, she has to hit it twice a lot of times to make it do it. So
I think, I wonder if it's because I'm doing it too quickly, because you got to go through all the steps, you know.
Yeah.
You got to go through them one by one, you know. You got to wait to get the assurance that the machine got the message, and you can move on to the next part, right?
Doesn't it ask for a pen or something too? I think a lot of people get confused with the whole pen thing. I wish it didn't do that. I wish I could turn that off. Because that's for me, and I don't ever call in.
It lets me through anyway.
Yeah,
lets us through.
That's for if you're like a moderator or me, or, you know, if I have somebody like, I don't know. See, this is really a service. This is talkshoe.com. It's a service for if you have like a meeting, like a phone conference meeting.
Ah, yes. I see.
Yeah, but it works great for this because I can have multiple callers on at once. Like I was going to have Sherry and Jeanette on at the same time. So yeah, and then like, you know, you don't have to be on the air. You can, you know, I'm just using it on the air, but you could do it as its own separate thing. And if people run across it on the TalkShoe thing, they can hop in and listen. And that's another thing. You can listen, you know, you don't have to actually talk. So.
Yeah. You know, I kind of buzzed right now. I don't usually smoke alone. And I don't know what propelled me to do this right now, because I had some. I bought a little bit recently because of people after work. They like to go out in the cold and pass around the joint, you know.
Yeah.
So like, hey, where can I fit in here, guys?
Let me join the huddle, you guys. So Chris normally smokes with you or no?
Yeah, he does. But you don't know the update with
yeah,
Chris.
What's going on with Chris?
Or you might. No, God, I'm buzzed. I probably shouldn't have called in buzzed. But anyway, no, I decided finally that I was, after a few days back home, you know, reality set in, and I just was starting to feel the same way I did before having ever decided to go to Florida. Mind you, I don't regret anything, but I know, like, you guys, most of you know the story, so I figured I was just in a really vulnerable spot, and I went to him for support, and, you know, just fell back into the fantasy of it all, and the possibility maybe of it all, but, no, unfortunately, it could be, it's unfortunate for somebody, but at the same time, it could be fortunate in the long run, right? Because for me, I think it's a fortunate thing since my birthday's coming up, the New Year's coming up. We have this portal cycle right now, right? Like Tony was mentioning it earlier also, between the 12th and the 20th, and my birthday's the 19th, and I'm getting a crystal healing on the 19th, early morning, and I'm ending the day with Salsa Club.
Well, happy birthday to you, since I won't get to talk to you.
Thank you, yes. It'll be the first birthday that I do not celebrate in the last 12 years with Chris. So it's bittersweet.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't...
Hey, listen to this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, it's just that yesterday, because I've been back and forth on this, right? You guys know it. And yesterday I was driving home from having lunch with a friend, and I just recently made a music playlist. And I meant to do that in the summer, in the months ago when we were all really like talking about that stuff with you know who, you know. Anyway, and but I know Lori, she's been using that process for many years, you know, using a playlist to seek out answers, right? To confirm what your higher self, whatever, right? So I'm driving and I say, hey, wait, I've got my playlist on. I'm like, geez, can I get some physical confirmation that I am making the right freaking decision, as well as having decided recently that I didn't want him over for my birthday dinner. So I needed to, I couldn't figure out if I was making the right decision. So may the next song that comes on my playlist, and it's a playlist from 25 to 30 songs, and I never really do this, and this time I figured, hey, I finally got the playlist, so let me try it. And I said, may the next song have the message for me, right? The answer for me. May it confirm it. And waited for the song to end. And as soon as the next song came on, I swear, as soon as the beat came on, I knew what it was. And thank God it was a beautiful sunny day yesterday. And we haven't had much sun here in Montreal at all. Today was dreary, but the last 2 days were sunny. So yesterday was sunny, and I had my sunglasses on, and I'm driving on the highway. That song comes on, and tears just flood in my eyes and pour down my face. And I'm like, oh, thank God for the sunglasses at least. But the song, you won't believe, well, it's a song that I love, and I'm sure you know this song, and I'm sure most of you know this song. And I've lip-synced it at the many parties I've had in my life with Chris in the last 12 years, house parties and wherever we'd go, and I lip-synced this song. I want to break free from Queen, right? You know that song? I'm not going to sing it now because I'm kind of getting over a cold, so I won't sound as good. But you know the song, I Want to Break Free.
By Queen?
Yes. I want to break free.
I think I know
I
it.
want to break free. No? Okay, people in the chat must know that song.
I think
anyway,
I know it.
it's
not coming to me right away.
Dane, you got to look it up and listen to it, please. Okay?
Okay. I'm going to look it up now so it's ready.
Okay. Yeah. Jot that down. I was going to say write it down, but you probably don't write anything down with a pen or pencil, do you?
What's a pen or a pencil? I'm just kidding.
No, but I mean, do you write things?
I'm just messing with you.
I say that you're my age. So, you know, I use a pen and a paper, but I'm not very technical, and I don't have a computer, so I use my phone. So for me, it's all like pen and paper, pencil and paper.
Yeah.
Anyway, see, I lost my train of thought. I was on some good stuff. Yes, you have to listen to that song. You have to listen to that song. And at one point in the song, and tears are streaming down my face, and at one point of the song, it says, something along, I need to make it on my own. Anyway, for me, that was deep, and that was a message that I needed to hear at that time. And I've thought, out of 25 to 30 songs, what are the chances that that one comes on, you know?
Sorry, I had it muted because I was listening to the song.
Oh, you were? Oh. This time I know it's free.
Exactly. Yeah, I just didn't want to get a copyright strike. So.
Oh, yeah, no worry about it. Okay.
Right.
Just
yeah,
write
I know
another
the song.
one down too before I go. There's another one you got to listen to before. Well, you don't have to listen to it now, but I mean, I need to tell you before I go. Okay. And this is a song that I loved years ago when I found this song, and I forgot about it for a few years. And it's my younger sister that just reminded me of it yesterday. And I listened to it, and okay, you have to listen to it. It's called Thank You from Sinead O'Connor. Write it down or type it, whatever it is you do.
Thank you, Sinead O'Connor. Okay.
It just says it all. I mean, it thanks whoever, anybody, for every freaking experience you've had in your life, you know? So it's like, thank you for loving me. Thank you for breaking my heart. Thank you for tearing me apart. It's just, and it's such a beautiful melody. And anyway, I won't listen to it tonight because I might cry.
Yes, I know that one too. Yeah, that's a good song.
You can't do that. You can't put that on like that because now when I get off, I'm going to have to put the song on.
I just played a small enough clip that they won't give me any problems, but
Yeah.
anybody that's heard it would be like, oh, yeah, I know that song.
Yes, you got it. That's the song, Renee. Renee, that's the song. I tried to add the link, but it wouldn't let me. So that's the song you got to look up. Yeah, so that's pretty much a quick update. I mean, besides, I've been having a lot of yesterday. I don't know, heart chakra pain, electricity in the middle of my back.
Oh, wow.
Like extremely painful that I couldn't even stretch it out. I couldn't figure that one out. So I'm assuming closing out cycles or whatnot, and with this portal too, and heart chakra. And
Renee's saying she got dedicated to Sinead O'Connor song today, too.
oh, today?
Yeah.
What a coincidence! Which one? What a
She
coincidence!
didn't say.
But that's funny. So she's heard
That's-
about Sinead O'Connor twice today.
Yeah, that's good. So did you get a physical reality confirmation?
Well, isn't the physical reality confirmation, wouldn't it have been that song?
The second one?
No, that was not. That
Oh,
was
wait.
the song that
Okay,
it
so you
reminded me of.
oh, wait, I got it. So you did the song on the playlist and got it, but then the next day you got it in the car? Is that how it went?
Added the song. Yeah, I added that song to my playlist a few days earlier, and in the car I just have it on shuffle. So it goes wherever. I don't know what song's going to pop up.
Ah.
So isn't that what you call a physical confirmation? Isn't that what you've said before?
Well, I think it was Nathan that was talking about it, but I think whatever,
Yeah, but you said it too. You said it too.
You go off
Most
the
of us have
feelings of
said
it. Yeah. I just sort of
Yeah.
go off of the feelings of it,
Well, anyway, that I never do that, and this time and it just hit me.
Yeah.
Whew!
I
That
think
was
it's
powerful.
whatever we set, if we really want it to be impressive, then we'll look and it'll be like 11:11 at the same time and stuff like that. But I mean, that's like,
Oh.
but even,
Well, I get numbers all the time, but I get them too often, so I don't know if it's responding to specific
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I get them so often. I'm getting them at the same time now. So I'll look at my odometer and it'll be a synchronistic number in some way, and then the clock will be, and I'm like, whoa, this is just wild.
Oh yeah, I've had quite a few, but I can't I think I got 12. Wait, I think I got today. Today's what day? The 14th.
Yeah.
So I think I got 12:14, like at lunchtime. 12:14.
On 12/14.
December 14th. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I got it because I screenshot it. When I get those numbers with the date, I screenshot them.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? Yeah, I think I got 12/12 on 12/12
Ah, awesome.
a couple of days ago.
Nice.
So yeah, I love those
Yeah.
connections like that.
I'm curious later when I get back on the chat if anyone feels that I sound different than usual, or how about you, Shane? Do you think? Since I smoke, I never go.
Oh, you sound happy.
Oh my God! As opposed to unhappy? Is that
No,
what you mean?
I should say you sound happier. How's that? You sound happier.
Well, then I better not be smoking this, depending on this every day to feel happy. No, I'm kidding. I've been really actually feeling super good. Nonetheless, I've been filling up my days with good music, high frequency stuff, heart meditations, and right now I'm in front of a 1,000-piece puzzle that I'd like to work on, that I'm working on. That's my challenge for this month, because in September I did one. I took a month to do it. Super fun on my floor. Had to vacuum all around it. I don't know what time to vacuum.
Uh-oh. You better make sure you didn't suck up a piece.
No. I'm extra careful, Shane. When it comes to my puzzle, I'm extra careful.
That does suck. You
let
don't
me
know
add
until
one
you get
last
to the end.
You know what? The last one that I did in September, it was a beautiful one of Paris, okay? And when I did it, oh my God, I completely forgot what I was going to say. Oh my God. Oh my God. In mid-sentence, the thought completely fell out of my brain, Shane. And
Hey,
I forgot.
marijuana is a hell of a drug.
Oh, shit. Okay, excuse my language, but what the heck? I was saying, oh yes, my puzzle. But what about it? Oh my God.
Yeah, the Paris puzzle a few weeks ago. Was it missing a piece?
Oh yeah. No, the Paris one in September. I'm telling you, I started the puzzle, and it took, in the first, day or two, I'm like, there's missing pieces in this puzzle. I thought that in the beginning. I hadn't vacuumed yet,
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But did it have all of them?
Yes, it did.
Oh, I've done that before in the beginning. I'm like, I'm looking for this one with this red flower. It's got to be here. And, you're like looking around. You're like, you know exactly what you're looking for, and it never shows up. And then later on, you're like, it was there all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you ever, dream pieces? I don't know, maybe not dream pieces, but it's like I see them. You're looking at the puzzle pieces so often that you literally know the 4 different shapes that they have. Actually, I think it's not even 4. It is 4 different shapes. I think it's 4 different shapes, but they're each have their own pattern.
Yeah.
But it's the same. Well, I don't know if I don't know if I make sense.
Yeah, same, but a little different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, because I noticed if I would line them up, let's say it looks like a little character, with a head at the top, and it looks like a little character, a head, 2 arms, and 2 legs.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little snowman or something, whatever, but with legs.
Right.
Piece. Yeah, I don't know if I'm giving too much information. But anyway, I have them all lined up, so I figure out where they fit in the puzzle. And then I realize I have another line lined up, but it's the same thing, but just lying down towards the right, let's say.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
all the pieces are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Practically all the same. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I should stop talking now.
No, it's all good. It's all good. And I appreciate the update and stuff.
Oh, yeah, cool. Oh, yeah, just one last thing then. Let me just say, I'm hosting Christmas this year. Oh, my goodness. I'm hosting Christmas in my new little apartment for my sisters, my parents, and all the nephews.
And anyone else in your area there in Ontario, is it? I'm just teasing.
No, Ontario is kind of still far.
Oh, where'd you say
Jose
you were?
is dying. I'm in the outskirts of Montreal.
Montreal, that's right.
The suburb of Montreal.
I got you.
Yep. Yeah,
Well,
that's
awesome.
it.
Well, I
All
guess you
right.
can give us an
So,
update
yeah,
on how
I'm
that whole thing goes. Are they awake or asleep or?
Ooh. Oh, no. Oh, gosh, no. Oh, my God, Shane. Oh, listen, just before when I told my sister about the car thing, the music thing, who was talking about it? Ronnie or someone was talking about it tonight, and they said how you have to pace how much you say. Like you think you go too far with something, and then they shut you down. No, how did they say it? Somebody said they shut you down, and it was Todd. I think it was Todd. And they ridicule you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I felt. That's how I felt with my sister when I was talking about that thing. But anyway.
So
you guys are the only ones who make me feel normal, I'm telling you. My dad was awake in the 80s, and I don't know what happened. Now he's stuck on CNN, and he really hates Trump. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. He just did a flip. I don't know what happened.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty much the only one. At least my mom, she listens to everything I say.
Yeah.
But she is so brainwashed from the news. It's incredible.
Yeah,
So
you got to turn
brainwashed.
off the TV programming. I still don't know. I have the best intentions for Trump, but at the end of the day, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea what. I don't know. I don't know behind the scenes. I just know I can't focus on that. I just gotta really just focus in from the heart, like you guys are all saying. We still gotta live in this 3D. And I know what you mean. Someone was saying also some are in 3D, some are in 5D, and some are straddling both. That's how I feel like. I've been straddling both worlds for the last 6 months. Months, maybe? Oh, my goodness. Anyway, I think I'm starting to get thirsty. I think I hope I have a bag of chips here.
Somebody's got the munchies.
What were you going to ask us before that? Was it really?
I don't know. I think you're wearing off on me. I just totally blanked out there.
Sorry.
No. That's totally fine. I'm living vicariously through you.
All right. And you guys are going to have such a blast. I mean, I don't know if I don't talk to you guys, super, super, super Merry Christmas. And I'm allowed to say Merry Christmas, right? Because some people say you're not allowed to say Merry Christmas.
You can say Merry Christmas here. No problem.
I'm saying Merry Christmas. My goodness. And, yeah.
And a happy birthday to you here in 5 days.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is going to be a big one, Shane. Okay, I'm on my own now. So after 12 years, it's a big step, but it's a big, it's a new chapter. So anyway, you guys, I really hope I'm going to watch you on New Year's Eve, because what Ronnie was saying is exactly what I was visualizing. You guys having a live stream and people coming on here and there to chit chat on the screen and get in on a chat so we can participate. That's exactly what I was seeing when Ronnie was saying it.
That would be cool. I might have to have Overprotect to do it, because the way it's like if I leave Tulsa, it's like no connection, and so I don't know. I don't know if they got Wi-Fi there and if I can tap into that or what's going on, but I'll at least get some footage and stuff for anybody that doesn't mind being on tape.
Whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen.
Yeah, totally.
I will feel it either way. I will be with you guys. I work, and I finish probably at 2 in the morning at the restaurant, but I will be with you guys like the whole evening. And when I'm having my drink, because we get a free drink at work for the special days, I will cheers to you guys, and I'll be thinking at midnight, because somebody rings a bell at work.
It's going to be one for you.
All of you. Eh?
Okay.
Oh, it's going to be one for me. Okay, there's an hour difference.
Yeah, you're on Eastern time, right, with New York?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, an hour difference. Okay.
Perfect. Well, lots of love to you. Thanks for calling in.
Time has no, I don't know what you call it. I forgot. But
yeah, it's
all the messages get through either way.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Love you guys all so much, and happy holidays, safe, happy, beautiful, high-frequency, loving holidays to all of you. I love you all so much, and thank you for always being there every week, uplifting me in every way. Oh, I'm so grateful.
Grateful.
Have a good night, everyone. I'm going back in the chat.
Okay.
Thank
Lots
you.
of love to you now.
Good night, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
There we go. Headed back to the phone lines. Got a 210 with their hand up. Whoops. Your hand went back down. Did you mean to drop your hand back down? Hand up, hand down. There we go. Okay, just making sure. I've had other people, drop their hand. Okay, 210 area code. Who am I talking to?
Hey, what's up? It's our universal consciousness.
Oh, what's up, man? How's it going?
Good. And have you heard about the square waves? I just recently saw it. They were talking about natural phenomenon, square waves.
In the oceans?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen those. That's strange.
Is that a natural thing? Is that a normal thing? I never heard of it before.
Yeah, they're saying it's a natural thing, but it sure don't look natural to me.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced that in the past before?
Never, man. That's
around this time.
It looks like a photoshopped image to me when I see those. It's like it just doesn't look right to see square waves out in the ocean like that. That's just it totally looks like they're blasting some, I don't know, harp or something, and it's just causing some unnatural phenomenon
I was seeing that. It reminded me of when all this stuff started happening. One of the effects that I noticed, like a physical, I feel like it was a physics change, because like one of the physics change I think that happened was the rainbow flipping, like literally the light spectrum flipped on its head. I feel like that's like a physics, some kind of laws of physics. And the other one was when the water was like vibrating on itself, like beads of water will be on top of water.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah, I've seen that before. Like when you open a soda bottle and you see the bubbles bouncing around on top of the water. Is that what you're talking about?
There's a difference from the bubbles and then the actual water bead. It's a water bead that it's actually water rolling on top of water, and then there's the bubbles, but there's a difference between the two, and people were noticing it. They were like, "Yo, I've never seen this before," and I feel like it has to do with when I saw those waves. It reminded me of that, because they were doing the same thing, scientists, with water, separating water from water. Like, they changed the frequency of water that's on a plate, and then they would drop a bead of water on that surface, the other surface of water, and then the bead just like floats because it's at a different frequency.
So are they using sound to do this?
Yeah, they're using sound.
Okay, yeah. I've seen them do some weird stuff with the sound, like the stream of water is coming out of the hose, and they'll blast it, and it'll just turn into this wave and stuff. Yeah.
That's kind of what that reminded me of. But yeah, it was probably some electromagnetic stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say one other thing. Can't really think of it right now. I got your email, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna be there.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, man. That's gonna be yeah, because you're in San Antonio, so that's not that far of a drive for you, right?
It's like $9 for a ticket, so yeah, I'm gonna be there for all 4 days.
Oh, awesome.
Man, there was one last thing I had to do with have you ever done Salvia Divinorum?
Can you say it again?
Have you ever done Salvia Divinorum?
Oh, Salvia. Yeah. Yeah, I have. That's yeah. Yeah, I've been there. That's
What did you see? What did you see on that? What did you experience?
It was pretty strange. It wasn't really a seeing as much as it was a knowing. It was
yeah, more of an experience, right? That's
yeah.
why I said. That's why I rephrased it. What did you experience?
Yeah, it was like having two, I don't know, 9 or 10 foot tall beings on either side of me, a male and a female, and they were. It's funny, they were like light beings, but I never turned and looked at them. It's like it was almost like when it happened, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot you guys are here. It was this just knowing, and they had their hand down by their sides, but that was like by my armpit, and they had their hands like under my armpit, just walking beside me, and not like making me go anywhere, but there in case I was to trip and fall, they would hold me up and keep me from stumbling.
That reminds me of Egyptian statues.
Yeah,
it was the giant Egyptian statues.
It was very nice. It was. I can see why I've seen videos of people like really wigging out on it and stuff, and I can see why if you're sort of doing it recreationally. But I sort of was, I did it with meditation. This was, I don't know, last year or something, but I was meditating, and it was more of a, I was expecting some kind of spiritual experience, and I definitely got that. It was cool. I got what I needed at the time. I knew that. It kind of went along with what I was dealing with at the time, which was I kept hearing to just keep on trucking, and it was like I was on this highway, with all this debris on the sides of the road. And when I first did it, I got pulled off at the overpass of the highway, and I felt like I was falling backwards. And then there I was on the highway with these
That's really interesting you say that.
Yeah, these angelic beings guiding me along the highway. So yeah, it was cool. Have you experienced that?
I've done Salvia before, and I too have experienced like a highway. It's probably because there was a highway nearby, maybe, but I definitely like experienced some weird highway thingy.
Wow.
Stuff going by, but the first time I ever did it was like back in 2011 or 2012.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 17.
Yeah.
And that experience was like, I feel like it changed my life, but it took like years for me to process what I experienced, and it was pretty cool. My experience, I literally, my whole body, my hands and my feet, they extended into like the universe, and then I like became the universe, and I saw these pillars, and then I started seeing like these little slits of paper, and it was basically like reality was split up into little sections of slits, and they go diagonally and vertical. And if you could like look into each one, it's like different dimensions. It was crazy. I saw the spiral of life, how we're all connected to everything. Like, I think I said this before, consciousness creates matter. And like when it comes down to it, we're physically we're attached to the smallest piece of energy that makes up matter.
Mm-hmm.
So like these bodies we're in, they're literally composed of millions and billions of consciousnesses, and we have like the butterfly effect thing where what we do, this one consciousness affects 100 million, billion, trillion, like a whole bunch of other consciousnesses in other ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I got out of it. It was crazy when I experienced it.
But it took you years to figure that out, huh?
It took years though. Yeah, because literally I drew it. It was drawings, and because I saw 3 different versions of me. One of me was the universe. The other one was literally me tripping in the restroom, and then another version was me looking at all these things. And then I went out again because I was looking at me, looking at all these things, and I was like, wait a minute, who the hell am I? Like, there's 4 different versions of me, and I'm looking at all this stuff. Who am I? And I followed this spiral back into my stomach, and it led me to the atom, like smaller than the atom. It was like matter. And that's what it was. But yeah, it took years because I was like, wait, what does that mean? What is me being a little piece of energy? What does that have to do with anything? Oh, okay, that reminds me of everyone's talk. I wanted to talk about do you think the Mandela effect, the name itself, should even be the Mandela effect? Because I don't even feel like that's the correct name for it.
No, it's sort of like one of those things where you're kind of stuck with a name that, you know, I mean, if you want to be found, if you want to put a video out about it and you want it to be found, you have to name it that to sort of get discovered. But yeah. I don't know. Early on, I was like, excuse me, I was thinking of it as, you know, if it's sort of the result of the Christ returning, the Christ consciousness, and Jesus called himself the Son of Man, and de la is of the, like, you know, de la so of the Son, or man of the effect, Mandela effect, like man of the effect. So I made it work in my mind.
Oh yeah.
But the Son of Man of the effect, sort of, you know, speaking of the consciousness of Christ returning, but nobody thinks of it like that. That's just sort of me, you know, that kind of came up with that just to make myself okay with it.
I've heard someone say that once or twice.
Yeah, I've probably said it in the past, or somebody. I think early on, I kind of, when I was thinking of things a little bit more religiously, but I don't know. Somebody else might have picked up on it too. But yeah, that's
what was I gonna say? I kind of thought of it. My spin on it when I first heard of it was the mandala, because I've said this before. If you know the teachings of the mandala, it's like a circles. It's a Buddhist monk teachings, and it has to do with creation. Like they create these patterns and then they destroy it right afterwards, because the teaching is like you're not supposed to hold on to anything because nothing lasts forever, and nothing's truly really gone. Like it's just like changed. It's not.
Morgan's saying the exact thing you're saying. And Angela, when she was on talking, Angela Gabriella was talking about her son that passed away and asking him what the Mandela effect was from the other side. He actually talked about the mandalas, you know, and I was like, wow, and I hadn't heard of them. But, you know, when I had her on, we were showing how they make these things with sand and stuff. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I've seen it once or twice. I remember that was real early on in the show, right?
Yeah.
Like last year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching it. Yeah, when I saw that, I really wanted to start drawing them, and I didn't even remember him talking about that, but yeah, that was the first thing I thought about mandalas, because literally that's where we come from. I always say this, people in the Mandela community, they like are tripping over the little things that change and the things that they remember, but they forget that we are more than what we see, and there is much more to remember. And when I experienced that salvia, and literally mushrooms, I feel like when I did the salvia, I experienced these things visually, but with mushrooms, I had like an ego death. Like I experienced I realized like where I was and who I was, and I remembered, you know, where I came from, and it was more, like a remembering. It's outside of time and space.
Yeah.
And I was ohming. It was crazy. I was doing ohms, and I went into this place where these other people were ohming. They were like monks. It was crazy.
Wow,
But
that's cool.
I feel, yeah,
That was
I
mushrooms?
feel like this whole Mandela. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was pretty cool. Me and my friend, we did it, and he literally started crying. Like I did it with two other friends, and they started crying after we did it because they said the experience was so overwhelming that they were just like, I've been living my life all wrong. Like they were like, I thought my life was bad, but it was actually really good. And literally when I was doing it, I was like, I need to look in the mirror to see what I become. Like I forgot who I was, and I was like, I need to see what I become. And it was just like, it was weird. It was a disconnect from who I think I am, and a reconnect to who we really are. Like we are all one, and a lot of the stuff we say is true. We just misinterpret it, and then we just like we say it wrong because we misinterpret it. We say it. We're not even going to be able to say it right if we're not interpreting it right. But
yeah, well, one of the things that you notice
like
one of the things you notice in the old times is that they knew about mushrooms, psilocybin, way back whenever as being this like spiritual tool, that they used way back then. You'll see it in like super old art and stuff like that. So, and you'll see the pine cone, like they knew about the pineal gland and all that. So it's like we're rediscovering stuff that has been known. You know what I mean?
I think it's just more. I feel like we need to go back to the ancestors because I feel like it can be easily abused, and people I've seen, like there's a lot of kids who just do it, but I do feel like there is a good way to do it. That's what I was saying. I don't know about going back into tribal thing because I was thinking about doing a tribal thing, but I'm looking at some different people who are already doing tribal things, and I feel like it's becoming like a race. It's kind of like I feel like to a certain extent it's kind of racist. Tribalism. Am I just like being racist? And do you think I'm wrong here, or what do you think about that?
You mean like it's just?
I feel like a lot of it
too religious, sort of, or what?
I don't know, like because I wanted to do like some kind of where everybody gets together, everybody who thinks alike, and it's not about skin color. It's about what you think and who you are. And,
totally,
like,
I think most of us that are awake realize that we're more than these suits that we're rolling around in. It's kind of like saying you can only come if you've got a green car. It's like kind of silly to even think that way. You know what I mean? Like, no, you can't come unless your car's green. Like, what are you talking about? The car is nothing, and it's like these are physical vessels. They're just basically our transportation around down here. And, you want to take care of them and stuff, but at the end of the day, you can't really treat anybody differently. Just to treat somebody differently because of their race is just totally silly to me. It's like...
It's racist.
Yeah, it's racist, but it's like, I don't think we would have that problem in our community because we've risen above that. I'm not saying that, people weren't raised a certain way where they had to sort of purge that out, but,
Yeah.
It's like
I feel like we wouldn't. I was just saying because I was looking at other people. I was looking at other people on YouTube, and they're doing. I don't want to say any specific names. Literally, it's. Yeah, I don't like saying any names because literally they're kind of famous, and what is it called? It's just like races, just different races. I see them gathering together, and they're doing like a tribal like type of thingy, and I'm just like. I don't know, dude. Like, I feel like coming together definitely. I feel like having your own thing is good because people's bodies are built differently, and like certain foods that are good for you, not good for you, but good for a certain race, aren't good for another race. And to a certain extent, I feel like it is good to be, not separated, but to. I don't know how to say it, like.
You're sort of like respecting and it's like the diversity. You're appreciating the diversity rather than it being something to separate over. It's more like, I don't know. There's an appreciation that goes with the diversity rather than sort of wanting to exclude someone because of it.
Yeah,
culture.
I don't know. It's hard to talk about because it's hard. It's really hard to talk about because people will get offended really easily.
Yeah.
But
well, I know, man. I grew up in a biracial family, so.
Do you want to ask me anything?
Yeah, I do have another couple of callers. Well, they don't have their hands up. Star 2 if you do want to talk. But I wanted to ask you about your DMT experience. You haven't talked about that while I got you on here.
Oh, DMT. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't. I feel like I don't know, dude. I did it the other day, and I mean, when I was in the trip, I was thinking like this is pretty cool, but I'm trying to figure out like what am I supposed to learn from this, you know? And and I was pretty conscious. I mean, I broke through, but and I saw everything you normally see. Like,
did you see any beings?
You see on DMT. I didn't. No, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I didn't come in contact with any beings, but I was in the worlds getting thrown around.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of thinking like, this isn't as bad as salvia. That's what I was literally thinking when I was there. I was like, well, it's not like the same as salvia. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm glad I done salvia because that's a whole nother experience that kind of prepared me for this. And because I literally connected to everything. And when I was in the DMT world, it was more like the inner world. I was in the inner world. And when I was on salvia, I was literally everything. And I could see the inner world, the outer world, the macro, the micro, like all that stuff. But,
yeah, Star 2 to raise your hand,
DMT,
guys.
I felt like...
Sorry, go ahead.
I definitely had to be there longer. I feel like I definitely had to be there for like a couple of, definitely like a week or something to get a good experience, like some knowledge or teachings or something out of it.
Oh, it's my son, Steven.
Hey, what's up? Yeah,
all right. I can see you got some company. I can let you go, Steven.
That's kind of my experience.
I appreciate you calling in, buddy.
Okay.
All right. Have a good one now.
All right. Appreciate you listening.
Okay. No problem, buddy. Later.
Let's go.
You're listening to The Love Stream.
Unbiased and on the fence.
Going back to the phone lines, 928 area code. Who am I talking to? This is Shane.
Hey, Shane. This is Austin.
Austin? Hey, from the chat. Awesome.
How you doing? Hey, actually, I started following you not too long ago after I seen you with Allison Coe.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like her a lot, and started following you a little bit and seeing what you're about. And enjoy your channel. You do a good job.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I love Allison. We're trying to get her down there, and she actually came up with the Austin, Texas idea, but I don't think she's going to be able to make it. But you know what? It's like she did what she needed to do. She brought it up. She made it happen just by bringing it up, and that might have been her part in it. Although I do hope she gives us a surprise, shows up and joins us. I send her the information just in case.
Hopefully she shows for you. She's just you could just see she's such a pure soul. That's one thing with her. I just, the moment I watched her, I could just tell she's a good person. You ever get that where you see somebody, you just get that feeling.
Oh, totally, yeah.
But it's crazy.
Yeah, there's a familiarity that's important. I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay, so if I talk over you, I apologize.
Okay, no worries. I was just calling because actually the other night I've had a pretty crazy experience. I've been seeing these numbers. I see numbers like 1111. I've heard you talk about this before, but I see these numbers. I mean, an unbelievable amount of times. I've been seeing these numbers actually since I was a kid, but 20 plus years probably now. But just recently, in the past 2 years, it's been just unbelievable how much I see these numbers. I mean, a couple months ago, my friends, they all know and see, I show them here and there, and they're like, oh, that's pretty crazy. But we were all at the casino one night, and we're playing roulette. And I put I always bet 11 and 34, because I'll see 1111 and I'll see 1134 for some reason. Those are the two numbers I see constantly.
Mm-hmm.
But so I hit number 11. And I said, buddies, watch this. Check this out. And I put it on 34. And I laid $10 on it. And sure as shit, that ball lands on 34, and the whole table just looks at me like I'm crazy. But it's crazy. It's insane. I don't know what's been going on, but I've been feeling like it's my guides, the guides or whatever, or they try to give you a message this way, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys' view have been on it. What's your take been on those?
Well, I know some people like to look up the angel numbers and see, find deeper meaning in it. But for the longest time, I just saw it as signposts to let you know you're sort of on the right track, or whatever you're thinking at that moment. It's like a confirmation to that. That's sort of how I go by it. Every now and then, if I see it repeat the same number a few different times, then I think like 329 came up a few different times, so I looked that up, and it sort of gave me a little message in there. And then I think like I was driving by the Powerball and Mega Millions, and they were exactly the same number. And then I pulled into a gas station, and they had the digital readout on the wall, and I saw those same two numbers again, and I looked them up. I can't remember what it said now, but just to see if it was some sort of message. It always seems to say something cool when you look it up, what they mean. But I typically just see it as a confirmation on whatever I'm thinking about, or let me know I'm on the right track,
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I've I've always kind of, seen it as the same thing. And I've had, a lot of people say kind of like this, it's a confirmation. But I stopped taking, about 2 years ago, I started to stop taking fluoride and, completely trying to, take the fluoride out of my system and try decalcifying the pineal gland and whatnot. And that's when I kind of noticed that this numbers, it became like amplified. It seemed like these past 2 years, it's just been nuts how much I see these. So I feel like maybe we know calcifying our pineal glands, blocks our spiritual connections and whatnot. And I kind of put that together the other day, thinking, wow, that the moment I stopped taking them, that's when I really started seeing these things. And I really started spiritually awakening a lot more. So I feel like that had something to play with. But anyways, I just want to get to this the other night, about 3 nights ago. I was actually on my computer listening to a YouTube video. I was pretty tired. It was about 1:30 in the morning. And I was kind of actually nodding out a little bit. I was kind of going in and out. I was tired from work. And I got my head down and my headphones on. And like I said, I'm kind of bobbing there, not really paying attention. And all of a sudden, the tone and the voice and everything changes on my video, and I go, whoa, what's going on? And it like startled me awake, right? So as soon as I look up, when I get startled awake, I look up and I look at the clock, and it's 1:34, which I always see, like I said, 11:34, 1:34. It's always a combination of those. I'll even get a 43 once in a while, which is backwards, But I look up, sure as shit, it's 1:34, and this is what's crazy about it. I had 2 windows open of YouTube, right? And it closed one of my windows. Like, it just closed on its own.
Wow.
And it started the next video because that window closed, and so that the other window open was the only one open, so it just started playing this other video, and that's what startled me at that time. Right? So I'm really, at this point, I'm almost scared. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Because, I didn't touch nothing. It's crazy. It literally closed a window and started this other video to startle me awake, and I see the time. So I go, well, what the heck? And I look on the back. There's no back button. There's no, it just went forward. No, it closed the window. There was no back button available,
Wow.
So that was nuts. But I go into my history, to finish up my video. And I'm like, well, that's pretty crazy. I get the 1:34 thing. But I go to open this video. I open the video up, and the second that it opened up to, there's a message on the screen. And I gotta let me find this real quick. Give me 1 second. But it was. I feel like it was at that moment. It wanted me to see that message that's on the screen. And let me pull it up. Give me 1 second.
I was looking here at angel number 134. It says attracting abundance. Another way of interpreting angel number 134 is to reduce it to a single root number of 8. The vibrational essence of the number 8 brings abundance, achievement, wealth, and power. So.
Yeah, I've read a lot about the 1134 and that's a lot like that. But I got it right here. What it says, and I've been speaking out loud, because I've been seeing these numbers for, like I said, a lot lately. So I said, well, if they're my guides trying to tell me something, I'm talking back to them, saying, hey, I really need some guidance now, trying to figure out life, because it's just like I said, spiritually awoken, and I'm trying to figure out, our purpose and whatnot. And this message just really, really resonated with me. So 1 second, right here. Where are you? Okay, I know I'm close. There it is. Okay. All right. So yeah, once I opened this video up, and if it was 1 second before, it was just a guy. He was it was a lecture, right? And he's at his podium talking. Well, at this moment that it stopped on, it actually has a frame went up, and it had a quote, and it says, and as I said earlier, the ascendance of our souls and soul groups has everything to do with leaving that notion of self and importance of self versus no self way behind in the dust and ascending toward that oneness and the love. I was just pretty blown away by that specific message was on the screen only at that second. If you were 1 second before, it would have been, it's pretty much.
So it was like the video closed so that when you would reopen it, it would start at that precise moment to see that message.
So I'd be paying attention at that moment, yeah, because I wasn't paying attention. I was just had my head down and not really paying too much attention. And then it closed on me, started another video, which jolted me awake because it was a louder video. And then, like I said, I go through, I open this video, and I see this message, and it just was unbelievable.
That's wild, man. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we see, and then other people are like, it's a coincidence, but we know better, because once you start seeing it and you look more for it and you try to kind of disprove it in your mind, the more you see and the more you're like, no, this is for real happening, something,
Absolutely. Yeah, my lady, she used to think I was a little crazy, but now she sees it all the time. I won't even be touching my phone, and we laugh about it now because it's a little out there, a little nuts sounding, but my phone will just be sitting on the table. No one touches it. Don't even get a message, but for some reason the backlight will turn on, and it just says 11:11. Like nobody touched it, nobody did nothing, but the light will come on and just let me know that it's 11:11. Like, yeah, that's just the beginning. I can tell you, I get emails, I get everything. Just these numbers are everywhere.
Oh, I know, man. Yeah, I was sitting there talking to my daughter.
Yeah, it really seemed like.
Sorry about the delay. My daughter the other night, and the screensaver was on. The screen was black, and the screensaver just goes off by itself. Nobody's touching the desk or bumping it or moving the mouse or anything. And it comes on and it says it's 12:34 a.m. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm like, look, see? And she's like, what did you do? I'm like, just let me see the synchronicity, I guess. I don't know. It just came on. So yeah, I see that stuff too, man. I know it happens.
Yeah, it's really crazy. And I just, I was wondering, because I've been researching a lot. And have you heard of the indigo children or anything like that? Have you heard anything about that? Because I'm really starting to, because when you look into this, I mean, it's crazy. It's like word for word me. Even my wife's like, wow, that's crazy,
Oh yeah.
And then I got these and stuff, and it's really, really tripping me out a little bit.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. Our delay is really big right now, so I apologize.
You're okay. But anyways, I'm actually pulling in home. I was just driving back from work, and I got the kids waiting on me, so I should probably let you go. But I just thought I'd put that out there. Had to tell somebody that kind of understands what's going on. So
I completely understand, man. I appreciate you calling in, Austin.
Absolutely. Well, you guys have a good night.
All right, care. You too, buddy. Lots of love to you, man. Have a good one.
Thanks. You as well. Bye.
All right.
Your calls, your stories, on air. You're listening to the Love Stream.
Sharing the love and spreading the light all around the world. This is Unbiased and On the Fence.
All right. Want to go back to the phone lines? Hit *2 if you want to raise your hand. And let me see here. Wait a minute. I think that's... Okay. Yeah, 403. You are live. Who am I talking to?
Hey, Shane. How's it going, buddy? Jason.
Jason?
333 Demon Boy. 333 Demon Boy.
Oh, okay. I can hardly hear you, man. For some reason.
I got my ads on again.
Oh.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, way better. Yeah, way better.
No?
Yeah, it's
I
good.
have my headphones in. I'm multitasking here, bye. So how's it going?
Going good, man. How's things up there in Canada?
I can't complain. I just tuned in with Not So Fancy Nancy, but what was, I can't remember which number it was he was just talking about, the guest before.
Oh, 1134 and 134.
I think he said something in the 30s. Did he not?
Yeah, 134 and 1134, and then 43 sometimes. So 34 and 43 sometimes.
Your prayers are heard, 34. Your prayers are heard and answered by the angels and ascended masters who are with you right now. There's a bunch of numbers. But yeah, numbers. I just posted a link about numbers, actually. Yeah, it's just shots getting real, no?
Oh, yeah,
you guys,
man.
Feeling the energy? Crazy, eh?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see the link here. Yeah, it's in the chat window there. So that's cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that was one I did the other day because I was kind of in attack mode still, and yeah, just drama, whatever. It is what it is. We're all going through stuff, right?
Yeah.
But sorry, I haven't been able to really keep up with you. I tuned in with Nancy there, and it's funny, she was talking about music and stuff, and I remember before I got the new car I didn't really want, and I was going up the hill, and one day my Beats was just dying right out, and all of a sudden it was going, and this is how I know my galactic brothers and sisters are with me, but right as the car went up the hill, 1 minute dying, next minute whatever, Bohemian Rhapsody was on, and look up to the sky and see, and yeah, confirmations and all kinds of stuff, and your guests, Nancy said a bunch of stuff, like I don't know, I'm watching the chat here and seeing some of the confusion and some of the doubts on as above, so below, 5D chess game going on, and you know, whatever about Mandela, and there's just, you know, and I try to articulate my message to people to encompass the whole lot, but it's kind of hard to do when there's such a spectrum out there, you know?
Yeah.
Frustrating, but I mean, like, where do you proceed, right? It's like, I don't know. I'm getting to the point in my life where it's like, as I'm evolving and realizing that the ones above me know that I have to figure it out on my own, just like I'm learning that those below me have to. It's not a separation thing, but it's like it's a free will planet, and the nature of this transition is that it's a collective thing as well as an individual thing, and it's for me, knowing my designation in it all is tough because, you know, my spirit name, he who stands alone, like it says, just do you, right? Yeah. And I get this, but I didn't really come here for that. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you don't really, and you don't want to self-censor yourself either, right? So it's like, how do you proceed in a way like you're neutral. That's what I like about you.
Well, you kind of get to the point where you realize that everybody's on their own journey, and like you know, in the example you use, as above, so below. If you're in one spot on the road of life and the journey of truth, that is a Luciferian satanic saying. But if you're in another spot, you realize that it was hijacked, and it's just another one of those things that's been hijacked and twisted into something that it's not meant to do. And they do that to hide the fact of the truth that's within it, because they never really wanted it out to the general population anyway. So all they can do is sort of, you know, make it into something that's sort of evil. So really, you know, and I think that's a great example of even like the all-seeing eye, the pyramid and stuff. You know, it's, you know, people look at my channel and they're like,
that's
he's a
the duality.
You know, yeah. So I don't really push it.
That's the duality as well.
Yeah, people are where they're at.
That's the duality as well. And sorry to interrupt.
No, it's a really bad delay for some reason. That's okay.
But yeah, duality, it exists everywhere. And we're working this stuff out now, and I'm just at a point now where it's like, you know, I can't really do much, and there's a few other people I saw in the chat. This is one of the things a lot of us struggle with, because they're seeing the changes and feeling the changes, and they just want to grab everybody around them and shake them to death, right? And I've been doing that for 20 years, so eventually it comes to a point where you accept defeat and realize, you know, even though you know the truth spirits coming to the heads of many are going to sting, and you don't want them to suffer. It's like they made their plan, and all we really can do is plant seeds. And looking back at all the people I've reached out to for help here, it's like above me, like, what should I do next? And I talk to the sun and stuff and do my thing and see more confirmations daily and connect the dots with numbers, connect the dots with, you know, the world stage. Like, a lot of people, you know, I mean, it's like they can't see the forest for the trees. I mean, they know shit's going on, but it's like, I mean, you're either on one path or the other, and like, if you're not open-minded and discerning and or playing the devil's advocate, as it were, like, I say that sometimes, and people are like, oh, yeah, demon boy Jason. Right, but it's figurative, but but it's tough. It's tough, but I need to learn how to just step back, because really I can't do nothing for people that don't want to help themselves. And I like how you play neutral. It's tough.
Oh, are you in Calgary? Not so. Fancy Nancy was wondering because of your area code.
Yeah, I'm in Calgary for now. Actually, it's funny. I'm kind of in transition right now. I had some drama going on with the next door neighbor here, and always something new. But yeah, I'm kind of paranoid right now, because the guy's threatening to kick me out because he's in a jam, and I don't know, whatever. Laid off, but just a bunch of stuff kind of coming together, and and then, like, yeah, the energies too. So I don't know, like, some people everything's amplified right now. So if you're already on the fence and not quite sure what you want to do, or a young soul or whatever, it's like, if you were already kind of an arse to begin with, it's like you're going to be more of an arse right now. And to go out of your way to, I don't know, it's hard to explain, right? But I had a subscriber who was like, just get rid of everything and come down to Texas. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I really want to be in America right now, but yeah, it's like, I don't really want to stay here, because I've been under attack for so long, like since my full moon arse slashing, and now everybody hates me here, and it's like, whatever. It's, I don't know. Now I got like 5 cameras rolling here, and you know, it's just, you know, sucks when you have to look over your back and stuff and wonder always, right? Like, who's going to get you next? But this is the thing, like, that's why I've kind of come to new revelations here. Like, maybe I should just shut my pile hole, because a lot of people aren't ready for what I know, you know? And like, to open your mouth and stuff, people aren't ready. It's like, you're just asking for trouble, really.
Yeah. Well, it's like all the things you're mentioning, like looking over your shoulder, and I mean, I get it, you know, but I think I sort of reached a point where it's like, you know what, I don't even look over my shoulder anymore, man, and I don't really worry about anything because I know that I've made it this far without, you know, having to catch anything. And you know, usually don't catch it either. You know, when whatever it is that blindsides you, you could be looking over your shoulder and it hits you from the other way or something. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just kind of leave it up to the higher ups to take care of that stuff, and I don't really worry about it too much. You know.
No. I am protected, but like looking back at the drama and everything, it would probably be easier if I just kind of kept quiet.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, and really, a lot of people, they kind of want to hear and then they don't, and it's like finding that balance of. But I mean, when you're all over the map of what you can talk about, it's like, how do you reach that niche, right? Like of the spectrum of, like, I'm just looking at the comments here, and it's like people don't really trust the plan. You know, they either, you know, they hate Trump or they like Trump. They don't see what's going on the world stage. They don't. Then there's the Mandela. People are definitely feeling that, but it goes deeper than that. The dimensionality of it, and the numbers. Well, I was listening to your last guest, and the numbers have been a big thing for me for the last few years too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
So that's all part of it as well. And our guides are working with us with that.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of things going on, and it's just hard to really connect the dots. And a lot of people are confused, and that's kind of what my mission's been, to help them. But
they have to be ready,
right? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm going to step back a bit, because I'm not really getting anywhere here what I'm doing, and I'm just alienating myself further, and I'm too out there apparently, according to some. But is what it is, right?
Hey, better than being a normie, right?
Well, hey, being called crazy by an idiot is a compliment, they say, but I shouldn't say that. Be the frequency you want to receive. I get this. But it is frustrating for sure. So what do you guys, where is your Christmas party, New Year's party?
It's going to be in Austin, Texas.
Is that where you are?
No, I'm actually in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Is that where you're residing? Okay. All right. Well, no, I had a subscriber say, just come down here, Jay, but I'm like, I can't really sell this place right now, and how the hell would I get down there with all my stuff? And I don't know. Working it out, man. But yeah, when I was hearing that other guest and you were talking about that, I was like, yeah, maybe I just swap this off down south for a bit.
Yeah.
Why not? I've always been a wandering spirit that way.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. I can't imagine how far of a drive it is. It's probably pretty far. But maybe flying might be an option.
Yeah. Well, with the Cacti Adventures, I lived in my car all winter, so I'm sure I could figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
Women, man.
Yeah,
Don't
you got
do
enough
it.
time
Don't
to
do
drive.
it.
It might take a few days.
Story on the lead out there. I should have been more like Tesla. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Come here and save mankind and leave the women out of it, and you'll be fine. Sorry, I'm foot in mouth disease.
Oh, Jay, I think you're further alienating yourself from the ladies. You don't want to do that. Or do you? Maybe you do. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I've never been the sugar-coating shot kind of guy. I think you know that by now. But and most of the time I'm sarcastic and silly and a strange individual.
I think people appreciate a straight shooter, though. You know what I mean? It's you know, I'd rather get the truth than a bunch of lies. So.
Well, I'll tell you, Shane, about 2 hours ago, I was bawling my eyes out and trying to figure out what I'm doing here. And I was like, you know what? I haven't really checked into some of the ones that I can count on. And even though I tuned in late, it was like, okay, I saw you live, and I've been so busy trying to figure stuff out, and I tuned in, and yeah, man. So sorry for not keeping tabs on what you're doing there.
It's all good,
but
man.
yeah, even when all I want to do is even when all I want to do is scream, I keep the humor, right? That's kind of what keeps me going.
Yeah. And, I found gosh, all these people leaving comments under the I Am Discourse videos from a year ago. I don't know if it's because I released them about a year ago and they have like December dates and stuff in the title or what the deal is, but a lot of people have been watching them, man, and they are, I don't get so low anymore since I've been practicing that. And just the other day when I was having a hard time, I actually went into meditation, actually asking for help and strength and to doing some of the I Am Discourse proclamations and stuff like that. And it really did help, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, I actually feel a lot better just within a matter of minutes here.
Was that were those the links you sent me?
Yeah, it's a playlist on the channel. I can paste it back in the thing again. I can find it. But yeah, it's basically a...
Yeah, no, you did. You did send it to me. I did watch a few of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will check that out again. I have it in my email.
Yeah, I Am the Resurrection and the Life, and some of the ones that Jesus used.
Yeah. And there's been more confirmations with me on that too. That's making me go back to the bigger scope of things in my designation, because I kind of been removed from the whole religion thing, and just because of my upbringing and whatever, and some of the numbers and revelations I've been finding are like, I got to kind of research more of that. And because to be honest with you, I've been a little bit, and even though I'm talking to my son and stuff and realize the roots of most religions, there's something to this whole whatever. And I got to look more into that.
Well, it sounds religious on the surface, but it really isn't. It's no, in fact, a lot of ultra-religious people say, well, that's of the devil. Why are you saying those things? Like, well, Jesus said it. Well, he's God. And so, well, maybe we have more of God in us than that.
Well, there's, yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions there, and like indoctrinations run deep all over the world, but it's depending on what side of the fence you're on.
Yeah.
Right. It's growing up as a religious person. Grandpa was very devout Christian, and I agreed with a lot of the concepts, which are universal law pretty much. And if you really look at all the different masters that have been around, it's pretty much been the same thing. So, I mean, that's universal law right there. But I mean, when then you get and look at how we're all killing each other over the same deity gods, which were pretty much created by the same ones that genetically altered us, then you start digging deeper into that and going back further and start getting into Atlantean theory and all this stuff, which I never believed up until a couple of years ago myself. So comic books and all this stuff, it was like, well, whatever.
Yeah, it seemed like fantasy. Yeah.
But well, no, it did. Like intuitively, like even Star Trek and stuff, like Star Wars. Now, when you go and look back at this stuff, it's like, man, tricorders, we thought that was whatever. Like, what are you carrying in your pocket right now? Right? Pretty much. So, and like when it comes to quantum and stuff like that, time travel, whatever, all this shit is totally legit, right? So, Star Wars, like there too, a lot of this stuff is there. The war that we're in right now, light and dark, it's a duality, and look at Cameron's stuff, Terminator, if you want to get into AI and all that, the potential is there, where we are now. Avatar, which is basically your human connection between Gaia and us, right? This is why it fluctuates so much, because we're ascending. So at any given point in time, it's like, and I love that one you did on the Schumann, man. Thanks for that. I was working on another video, but my computer attacked it. The sync's there. I digress. But when you really look at a lot of these things, it's like what you thought was fantasy is actually closer to truth than we could ever imagine and beyond, right? And a lot of these people came back here, they're older souls that reincarnated here, and it's not like they had an imagination, they just remember, right? So they just remembered from past lives. Or they came back in the future, or walk-ins or whatever. I mean, spin it any way you like, but there's no coincidence there, right? And like you say, they're mind readers or predictors of the future, but what if they just remember because they've been there before and they came here to show us the way, right?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, you get into the Mandela, quantum, dimensionality of things, how we're shifting, how this grand transition is non-negotiable. It's like if you were going to be a person that came to stimulate humanity for this time, which we're in, which is the grander cosmic cycle, how would you do it? Right? We got some of us here that are incarnating over and over and over again and just remember, but how would they remember that if they didn't come from the future? Right? So, I mean, obviously these people came and knew what they knew before it happened, so you do the math.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it's pretty trippy to spin this quantum thing, right? And then that goes back to the Mandela too, because some people see it and some people don't. What they don't realize is it's bigger than that, right? They don't, and then a lot of people I talk to don't want to acknowledge, like they want to put a name on it. And I notice, I'm going to call it Mandela. Well, call it your evolution, I say, because that's what it is. But I mean, to limit it to that one path is I mean, people are going to see in due time that it's bigger than that, but they just know the changes are there, but they don't want to, maybe they're religious and they don't want to, I mean, they got an idea and a concept of how they were raised. They don't want to accept, you know, they know the changes are there. You can't deny it, right? The numbers, what you're seeing above, us below, like whatever you're looking at, the changes are felt and seen. But a lot of people can't wrap their heads around just how deep this is. And that's the problem. And then I actually had a live stream with a buddy, and he was contemplating all the different realities his daughter could be in. And I was like, really? Like his daughter died, and so he was thinking about all the different realities his daughter could have been in. And I'm like, dude, you're in this now, okay? Your daughter is already everywhere. She's infinite. She's probably building a galaxy somewhere because she's bored, but she's here too. But now you're sitting here thinking about all the different realities she can be in, when the only reality that matters right now is the one you're in.
Right.
So I think a lot of, you know what I mean?
She should check out, or he should check out that Channeling Eric, because that really shifts your perspective about what happens to people after they die, you know? I think that might be helpful. Turn them on to that.
Well, I already know these. I already know these things, though, but when you realize your soul is infinite and when you get into the dimensionality of it, we're already everywhere, right? The little fractal of you right now that's talking to me on the phone is just but one infinite fractal of you. You're out building galaxies someplace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the trick is for us to reach out and take these meat suits with us into the new, which is what we're doing. But I mean, to sit there and worry about all the woulda, coulda, shouldas, it's kind of a waste of energy, I think. But I think a lot of people are contemplating this. Like, now that I know there's multiple realities, why waste your time thinking about the woulda, coulda, shouldas when only thing that matters right now is you in this fractal of now. Now, you may flux between dimensions as we're doing our thing here collectively, but overall, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, one day I'll be like, okay, I'm down, and the next minute I'm up, and then stuff goes missing, and things have changed and whatever, but that's just us working it out and dealing with whatever. World changes, the human, it's all connected, right? So, I mean, to sit there and worry about anything beyond that moment is kind of a waste of time. But I mean, a lot of people struggle with that, right? They don't understand it. So
the past and the future, yeah.
And that's what we're in flux right now with, right? It's deep stuff. And like, I got a bunch of stuff today, like in the heavens, man. Wow. Stuff's stepping up for sure.
Yeah, I think so too, man.
I don't know who else is seeing what out there in the skies and the orbs. I got orbs, triangles, more triangles today, of every size and shape, and just people talk about the sun simulator and stuff, and I was seeing orbs with rainbows, which were not in sync with the sun. And then I was seeing, like, I mean, these are all things that are being revealed to us as we progress, right? So it's like the more we get tuned into that and we're fluxing, the more we're seeing it. And at the same time, our galactic brothers and sisters are making themselves more known as we're ready to be. You know, they're not going to give us more than we can handle, and that's why this whole process is so slow.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating for me when I end game, but it's like, okay, what do you do? But everybody's seeing more stuff. The channels I follow worldwide, my intel stuff, I'm getting confirmed from my peoples. It's like, yeah, stuff stepping up for sure.
Yeah, I agree, man. And
Beautiful
I think
times ahead.
the Mandela effect is one indicator of that. I mean, even for the people that say it's been going on their whole life or for decades, not that many people have noticed it, I don't think, is now, you know what I mean? Because it's like, there's never been a name for it. People had to sort of keep quiet about it so they didn't get locked up, and we're finally able to talk about it. In fact, in the very beginning, I thought I was going to have to play along with it for a while, man. I was like, why is no one else seeing this stuff? Or they'd seem like they saw it, and then they'd sort of, you know, fiddle with their phone. And I'm like, do you realize what I just said? I remember this one guy right next to me. He was into Star Wars and stuff at the flea market, you know, and I'm like, did you know that C-3PO had a silver lake? And he goes, no, he doesn't. I'm like, yeah, look it up. He looks it up on his phone. He's like, wow. I'm like, yeah, he's always had a silver lake. Wow. And then just kind of went back to what he was doing. I'm like, how are you a Star Wars fan? And that's not like, what the heck? You know what I mean? It's crazy, man.
And see, the thing is, and I think you guys will find, I'll make this prediction right now, the more people wake up in the below, the more people will see the changes. The issue is, until people focus more on the full scope of things and open up to it, and we can't really tell them this, like, it's an individual thing, right? But the more people open up to this, the more they will see the changes, and that's why, and then more will be seen in the above, and that's exactly what I've been witnessing the last few years. So and yeah, I'm sure there's people that have noticed this stuff way before me. Like, looking back at it now, I didn't really notice the Mandela changes per se until a couple of years ago. I didn't really focus on it. Like, I realized stuff was different, but was that bad memory? Or was that just whatever, deja vu? It could be a million things. But when you really look back at it now, it's like some people were seeing this long before.
Yeah.
Me, not so much, because I didn't really pay attention to it. But now it's like you can't deny it. You can't deny it.
Yeah.
But if you guys watch what happens on the other side of the world in a given day, the chess game playing out, and all the dumb stuff Trump's doing, it's a chess game there. You got to realize all the three major powers are working together here. This is a 10,000 plus year war, and the timing of it now is the age of Aquarius, which we're pretty much in. We made it past 2012, so that's the larger galactic cycle. Now, the below is us. So, depending on what we do in any given day and how the truth boots are released to the public in little itty bitty pieces, right? Because we can't handle it all at once. You know?
Yeah.
You know? So that's why it's been so slow. But you really watch what goes around on a day in the world. And little by little, more people are going to be asking questions. And this is where we step in and plant those seeds. And we can't really change anybody's perspective because we're all at our different stages of evolution, right?
Totally.
I tried that for 7 years, and it was like all I did was look like a crazy maniac, tinfoil hat wearing Jay.
Well, you know what, Jay? What I found that is if I spend too much time trying to wake other people up, all it does is pull me down, man. So I just try to be the light, shine a light, love people, and trust that they'll get sent my way, or they'll be inspired by my actions to ask me, why are you so happy, or what, what's your deal with life, or whatever, or they'll just find my channel. I don't even worry about, making my channel findable anymore. Because I know people just show up. They just miraculously, coincidentally, however 3D version you want to think of it. I know there's something going on. They're led there by a higher force or whatever, but I don't even worry about it anymore. And I just try to keep my vibes high,
Yeah, I got to do that more too. I put more effort on myself or stress on myself than I should in that regard.
Yeah, you got your higher self to handle all that difficult stuff.
And I do, and then it's just frustrating for me when I put out a message and it's like, they love to see the drama of all the stuff that goes on in the hijinks, but then when I put out a good message, it's like, nobody watches it. I'm all over the map most of the time anyways. I'm all over the map anyways the last 3 years, right? So I got to organize myself better that way. But looking at it now, it's like, okay, try less, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I think you'll dig.
People are going to see. Go ahead.
I think you'll dig the I am discourse as far as keeping you from getting too low, man. It really has helped me. I was hitting some really low lows back, I don't know, a little over a year ago. I'd still have rough times every now and then, but I've really sort of leveled out, and I catch it before it gets too bad now. I know what to do. I actually have tools at my disposal to keep it from getting too bad. So when I notice I'm headed that direction, I immediately ask for help, first of all, from whoever's out there. And I think you can ask anybody. If you're religious, you can ask Jesus. If you're not, you can ask Source or whatever. Somebody hears every time. It doesn't, angels or whatever you want to say. And then, proclaim your sovereignty over your reality. And the I am discourse has been so big of a help for me.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out. I got your email right here. I'm looking at it. I was going to email you earlier, and then I was like, yesterday I was going to. And then I remembered it's Friday. I don't even have track of time anymore, but it's crazy.
Nice, isn't it?
Just trying to get by here. Pardon?
I said it's nice, isn't it? Sort of lose track of time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wish I had more of it. But the thing is, you wake up and it's like, oh, I had to do something on Wednesday, and it's like Friday. So in that sense, it's like, what this did happen? Or I'm like, what day is it? I'm like, whatever.
I'm gonna paste the I Am Discourse playlist in the chat for you guys. If you haven't checked it out and you're still hitting those low lows, try it out. Maybe it's not for everybody, but it definitely helped me out. I couldn't believe how cool it was and really how simple it was, because I use this analogy all the time. It's like a magnet. When you get two magnets close to each other and you can sort of feel them pulling towards each other, if you catch it right away, you can keep them from sucking together. But if you let it get too close, then it just sucks in and they're stuck together. And that's how it is when you get in these low vibes. If you can catch it before it sucks you down to that low level, then you can prevent ever getting to that point. That's how it's been for me. So maybe there's different tools that work for different people, but that has definitely been a huge help for me. Totally.
I'm gonna definitely check that out, buddy. And I've removed a bunch of channels, and I'm not even really following things anymore because I just get too depressed about certain things. And I mean, I like to be informed on what goes and whatever, and wish I could do more to help. But like I was saying in that earlier video I did today, it was like, okay, I can't really do anything, and I don't suggest anybody tries. It's like plant those seeds and keep the vibes up, and I do that too. I just feel I should do more because I know why I'm here, and it's not really for me. But
yeah,
I mean, my spirit name is alone, so I've had many confirmations on why that is and my designation and stuff. So,
but you're never really alone.
I just feel like I should do more. No, I'm not alone, but in my mission I am. Still working out where I came from here, but that's something I got to do work on as well, because I'm not convinced I'm from here originally. I thought I was Palladian there, but I think I have a different perspective on that now. But that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah, I would say anything you're watching that you
for
can kind of feel they pull you down into a lower vibration and stuff, just don't watch them, man. That's what I've had to start doing. Anything where like I find myself feeling pissed off or impatient about the world situations and chaos going on out there, I've realized, hey, I don't even have to be a part of that. You know, I do like to watch things from a distance, but if they reach that point where they're sort of pulling me down, or I notice after I watch something that I feel depressed or down, then I just stay away from it because, you know, that's affecting my mission, and it doesn't really need to, because my mission is to be high vibe and spread that love light all over as much as I can. And if anything sort of, you know, I remember being a kid and I loved that song in church, you know, hide it under a bushel. No. And you're like, I'm going to let my light shine. And it's sort of that same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, buddy. I've got to actually wrap this up because I realize I'm digging into my wife's bedtime and stuff. I didn't realize it's already 10:20, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, thanks for chatting with me so long. And I'm going to go back and check the beginning of this and keep more tabs on people that matter.
All right. Lots of love and light to you, brother. I appreciate everything you do, man.
Okay.
All right,
okay, man.
All right, talk to you later. Jimmy Glitch.
Bye.
All right, that's going to wrap us up here. Let me see here. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow night for the Power of 8 at 8. Wish I could stay here and do this all night, like a coast to coast or around the world AM show. That would be awesome. I am really a nighttime person. I could totally go into, I could do that all night. I just need to have some breaks I can go to the bathroom and stuff like that. Just sitting here for 3 hours is can be challenging. No breaks, but you know, it's fun. All right, so if you can join tomorrow for the Power of 8 at 8 with Eileen and I, we're going to be using our power of intention to make some kind of wonderful change in the world. And it's real science. I mean, you can check out that book, The Power of 8 at 8, The Power of 8 by, gosh, her name's slipping my memory now. Sorry. You can go under any of the past ones and find the link to her website and get the Power of 8 book. It's an excellent book, and it uses science to, Lynn McTaggart is her name. It just popped in my head. Lynn McTaggart's Power of 8 book. You can actually get on there and check out that book. It's backed up by science. So if you have any doubts that our intentions can make changes in the world, check out that book. I mean, you can get an ebook online and read it and see that it's got repeatable results, you guys. So lots of love and light to everybody, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.